Warm good afternoon to everyone who have gathered here for the one-day interaction program Science Adda under the aegis of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, sponsored by DBT Star Scheme, organized by the Science Department of PSGR Krishnamal College for Women. Now, we are going to play the videos of the labs, science labs of PSGR Krishnamal College for Women for you to view.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
We welcome you all back to the live sessions of the afternoon session of one-day interaction program on Science Adda. I now call upon Dr. D. Sashikala, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, PSG Krishnamal College for Women, to welcome and introduce our guest, Dr. Raghunath G. Ramabhadran, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, ISER Tirupati. Over to you, ma'am.
A very pleasant good afternoon to one and all present here. I take this immense pleasure to welcome Professor Raghunath Sir, Assistant Professor from the Department of Chemistry, ISER Tirupati. To his credit, his research interest is on the broad areas of research are computational and quantum chemistry, developments and applications in inorganic, organic, and physical chemistry, and scientific pedagogy. The specific areas of research include computational prebiotic chemistry and improving classroom teaching of introductory chemistry in college. He has done his doctorate from Indiana University, Bloomington. His postdoctoral researcher from the University of California, Los Angeles. He is working as an assistant professor from the Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research, Tirupati from 2015. He is awarded a research award, Early Career Research Award from SERB, DST Government of India. His publications added to his credit on the topics enzymatic hydrolysation of an inactivated methylene CH bond guided by molecular dynamic simulations, and the successful merger of theoretical thermochemistry and fragment-based methods in quantum chemistry. And also it includes an overlooked yet ubiquitous bifluoride conjuncture binding bifluoride in tricellophans using computer-aided designs. So he has got more than 50 publications to his credit. Sir, I welcome you to take over the session, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, madam, and it's my pleasure. Thanks a lot to the organizers for having me here as well. So before I proceed further, I would like to request, I want to ask the audience a question. The audience majorly consists of school students, I believe. So how many of you here are, not familiar with Tamil? The reason why I ask is, it is better to interact in Tamil, as opposed to English, is my opinion, because if like a lot of you are okay with it. Is there anybody here who will be uncomfortable with Tamil? Hello? Any student in this crowd, any participant in this crowd who's actually uncomfortable with the rest of the interaction being, in a mixture of English and Tamil? Anybody, please?
No, sir.
No one, right? So I love me Tamil review. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes,
super.
sir.
Okay, excellent. Okay, அப்படினா நான் என்னோட ஸ்கிரீனை வந்து ஷேர் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். Okay. Right. Oops. And the host, can you please enable participant screening, or can you make me a co-host, please?
Sure, sir. One second.
Thank you. Yeah. So பசங்கலாம் நல்லா லஞ்ச் சாப்பிட்டீங்களா?
We have enabled your.
Okay, now I'm a co-host. Okay. எல்லாம் நல்லா லஞ்ச் சாப்பிட்டீங்களாப்பா?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. நல்லா தூங்கிட்டு இருக்கீங்களா இப்போ?
No, sir.
நோவா?
No, sir.
No, sir.
பாத்தீங்களா? லஞ்ச் சாப்பிட்ட உடனே தூங்கணும். Okay. By the way, நீங்க என்னோட ஸ்கிரீன் பார்க்க முடியுமா? பார்க்க முடியுதா?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Cool. Okay. So I will start sharing my screen. Okay. And I'll also do one more thing. Okay. Please don't mind. என்னோட வீடியோ நான் ஆஃப் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். Okay. So that bandwidth இன்னும் அதிகமா கிடைக்கும். All right. Is it fine?
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right. Thank you. Cool. So with your permission, I shall switch off my video. Oops. இருங்கப்பா. எங்க போனோம் அதுக்கு? Stop video. Okay. இப்போ நீங்க என்னோட presentation only தான் பாக்குறீங்களா, என்ன பார்க்கல, ரைட்டா?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So welcome to the talk. Hope you all had a great lunch. So it's a pleasure to be here. Okay, I think I have been thank the organizers. PSGKR college la vandu kittatta third time or fourth time I'm giving a talk, and it's a great initiative by them. Pasangalla vandu I hope like you all inspired to do science with these lectures of talks. And as you shall see in the presentation, okay, science na vandu romba periya vishayam, romba adu iduna neenga nenichittu irupeenga, but it's simple, okay, right? Simple systematic நம்ம ஃபாலோ பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா வந்து நிறைய பண்ணலாம் சயின்ஸ்ல அப்படின்ற அந்த அந்த கான்செப்ட்ல நான் உங்களுக்கு வந்து ஹோப்ஃபுல்லி த்ரூ திஸ் லெக்சர் சீரிஸ் கொடுக்க போறேன். பை தி வே, இந்த நீங்க பசங்களா இருக்கீங்க, ஸ்கூல் பசங்கலாம் வந்து நீங்க வந்து ஐ மீன் உங்க எந்த கிளாஸ் நீங்க வந்து லீஸ்ட் கிளாஸ் இது, அதாவது இருக்கிறதுலே கம்மியான கிளாஸ் இது இங்க?
Sir,
8th, sir.
8th. Okay, super. Okay.
7th, sir.
7th ஆமா, சூப்பர் மா. Okay, okay, okay. உன் பேர் என்னமா? 7th கிளாஸ். உன் பேர் என்ன குழந்தை? சொல்லு. What's your name? Hello?
Sir, I'm 8th, sir.
நீ 8th படிக்கிறியா? Okay, good. Excellent. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. So யாரும் 7th சொன்னாங்களே, யாருது? Hola? Hello? கேக்குதா?
7th.
Okay, 7th படிக்கிறவங்க இருக்காங்க. Good, yeah. And நீங்க வந்து I mean 7th இருக்கு, 8th இருக்கு, 9, 10, 11, 12 இருக்குல்ல? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. All right. So if I'm in talk என்ன பார்க்க போறேன்னா, hopefully like I shall inspire you to like towards solving a very important problem in science, okay, which is the possible origin of life. Okay, right? இதெல்லாம் வந்து எப்படி நம்ம வந்து இங்க இருந்து, okay, right from like where we are living, okay, how like we are going to study the chemistry of where there is almost nothing, எதுவுமே இல்லாத ஒரு விஷயத்தை, okay, நம்ம எப்படி படிக்க போறோம், எப்படி கத்துக்க போறோம், அதை பத்தி என்னெல்லாம் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்றது வந்து, okay, ஒரு சின்ன ஸ்னாப்ஷாட்டா உங்களுக்கு சொல்றேன். இதன் மூலமா the idea is to try to inspire you to say that like hey, systematically பண்ணா சயின்ஸ்ல நிறைய இருக்கு அப்படினு. Okay, so like Dr. Shashikala gave the invitation, நான் வந்து see I'm originally from Chennai, okay, but I work at IISc Tirupati. Okay, so IISc Tirupati is a national institution. It's a very good place, it's a cool place. Okay, so this is our transit campus, and இங்க வந்து you have all cool facilities. Okay, so உங்களுக்கு வந்து சயின்ஸ் படிக்கணும் அப்படின்னாக்கா வந்து IISc Tirupati is an excellent option. நீங்க பாருங்க, நீங்க பக்கத்துல மலையெல்லாம் பாத்தீங்களா? So it's a very beautiful place, just like Coimbatore is. Okay, we have great bus facilities, great computational facilities, and lots of new cool modern instruments கூட அங்க இருக்கு. Okay, so with this introduction to IISc Tirupati, okay, so like பொதுவா மேடம் சொன்னாங்கல்ல, நான் என்ன பண்ணுவேன் அப்படின்னா வந்து this is what I do for my research. Okay, but I'm not going to be talking about it today. Okay, majorly what I'm going to be talking about, about this talk. So in the talk எப்படி இருக்க போகுது அப்படின்னா வந்து I don't intend to like I talk and you sleep. Is it fine? Hello? So நான் பேசினா நீங்களும் பேசணும்.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay, sir.
excellent, cool. So சரி, நீங்க எப்படி பேசுறீங்க, எப்ப பேசுறீங்க அப்படின்னா வந்து நான் பேசிட்டு இருக்கும் போதே பேசக்கூடாது. Okay, then like எதுவுமே கேட்காது, யாருமே புரியாது. Okay, so the point is I'll ask you a lot of questions, and during that time you should be able to answer the questions I ask. It's for fun. Okay, it is just அதாவது see, ஒருத்தரே பேசிட்டு இருந்தாங்கன்னா வந்து இன்னொருத்தங்க தூக்கம் வரும்ல, it is very human. Okay, அதனால தான் வந்து கேள்வி எல்லாம் கேட்கறாங்க எல்லாருமே. Okay, so last thing is in the talkல வந்து I use a lot of images from the internet. நீங்க எல்லாரும் பண்ணுவீங்க இல்ல, whenever you prepare for a presentation or anything, right, you
Yes.
all use like lots of stuff on the internet, right? You do that, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you do that, right? So whenever you do that, right, நீங்க எப்பலாம் அது பண்றீங்களோ, but make sure that you actually acknowledge the sources. Okay, right? ஏன்னா அடுத்தவங்களுக்கு கிரெடிட் தரணும், அது ரொம்ப முக்கியம். Okay, நம்ம சயின்ஸ் பண்றதுக்கு வந்து ஒரு முக்கியமான சயின்ஸ் என்ன கத்து கொடுக்குது அப்படின்னாக்க வந்து எல்லாமே நம்மளே முதல்ல பண்ணல, நமக்கு முன்னாடி யார் என்ன பண்ணிருக்காங்களோ அவங்களுக்கு டியூ கிரெடிட் தரணும் அப்படின்னு. Okay, is that clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is very important. Okay, so அதனால I do the same thing in this talk. நிறைய இமேஜஸ் வந்து இன்டர்நெட் கூகுள்ல இருந்து just by doing like Google search நிறைய இமேஜஸ் எடுத்திருக்கேன்னா. Okay, and for all those images I wish to give like due credit. Okay, all right, yeah. So with this I continue this talk. Okay, now continuing further. So okay, in the talk what is this talk going to be about? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to like the INS title in chemistry where there is almost nothing. Talk title. Okay, so I'll introduce you to what are chemicals, chemistry, and what is us. Okay, you'll see what it means exactly very soon. அதுக்கப்புறம் என்னமோ ஆல்மோஸ்ட் நத்திங்னு சொன்னேனே அப்படின்னா என்ன அப்படின்னு சொல்ல போறேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் like எதுவுமே இல்லாத போது என்னப்பா நடக்கும் அப்படின்றது I'm going to give an outline for, and then I'm going to give a introduction to chemistry and the possible origin of life, and கடைசியில okay see நீங்க பாவம் லஞ்ச்லாம் சாப்பிட்டுட்டு வந்து கஷ்டப்பட்டு மூச்சிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. Okay, right? So உங்களுக்கு what are going to be the take home messages from this talk அதையும் கடைசியில நான் கொடுப்பேன். Okay, that's it. So with this, okay, in the title நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா you have this beautiful title, right? The title is chemicals and us, or is it chemicals is us? அப்படின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? Without anything, right? Can somebody try to make like what is the meaning of this sentence? Anybody?
Tamil it's like chemicals to nammalo illa chemicals da namma.
Adda, exactly. Yeah. What's your name, ma? Your பேர் என்ன? Hello?
Amrut.
Okay, good, Amrut. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's the whole point. Okay, right? Yeah. So like chemicals நம்மளுமா இல்ல chemicals நம்மளா? You may think என்ன பத்திக்கிறதுமா டைட்டிலா இருக்குது. Okay, so let us see what it actually means. Okay. First of all, உங்க கிளாஸ்ல வந்து true or false questions கேட்பாங்கல்ல. Okay? Hello, கேட்பாங்களா மாட்டாங்க? Okay. இப்போ வந்து நான் வந்து சில true or false questions உங்களுக்கு கேட்க போறேன். Okay. First statement, okay. We are chemicals. True or false? நீங்க என்ன வேணா சொல்லலாம், தப்பு இல்ல. True சொல்லலாம், false சொல்லலாம். Okay, இது மார்க்லாம் கிடையாது.
False. True, sir.
Excellent. True. யாருமா true சொன்னாங்க?
Amrut.
Okay, good. யாரோ false சொன்னாங்களே? யாரோ false சொன்னாங்களே? False சொன்னது யாரு?
Sir, Stephen, sir.
Okay, great, Stephen. Yeah. ஏப்பா false சொன்ன?
Sir, because we are humans now, sir, how we can turn into chemicals, sir?
Okay, we are humans. நம்ம எப்படி chemicals ஆவோம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுங்க. Okay, great. I agree with you. Fair point. Okay. இப்போ யாரோ ஒரு true சொன்னாங்களே, அவங்க யாரு?
Haripriya.
Okay, நீ ஏமா true சொன்ன?
Because நம்ம சாப்பிடுற nutrients எல்லாமே வந்து ஒரு chemical. And we decompose after death. We also chemical composition in the soil.
அப்பா, okay. என்ன கிளாஸ்ல படிக்கிற நீ?
Grade 9.
Grade 9. Cool. Okay. Yeah, Stephen, நீங்க என்ன கிளாஸ் படிக்கிறீங்க?
8th, sir.
8. Super. Okay, yeah. So Stephen is saying, like, okay, hey, what nonsense. நம்ம எப்படி chemicals ஆவோம்? பைத்தியக்காரத்தனமா இருக்கே அப்படின்னு. Haripriya is saying, of course நம்ம chemicals தான். ஏன்னா வந்து like நம்ம சாப்பிடுறது chemical, நம்ம தொடர்றது chemical, நம்ம பழகிறது chemical எல்லாமே அப்ப நம்ம ஒண்ணே chemical இல்ல அப்படின்னு. Okay, right? So we have two sets of arguments. Okay, right? நான் இப்போ எது ரைட் எது தப்புன்னா நான் எதுவுமே சொல்லல. Okay, let us just continue this discussion and I'll eventually tell you what it is. Okay, next, we are chemicals அப்படின்னா next வந்து our friends are chemicals. இது எப்படிப்பா? இது true or false?
True, sir.
True, because we all are humans.
Okay. Wait. Stephen, what do you say?
Huh?
நம்ம friends are chemicals பா, நீ ஒத்துக்கறியா இல்லையாப்பா? நீ ஒத்துக்க வேண்டாம்.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
it's okay to say false. Yes or no?
True, sir.
You're saying true. அப்ப என்னப்பா அது? We are not chemicals but our friends are chemicals. அது ஒத்துக்கவே நீ இது ஒத்துக்க மாட்டீங்க.
Sir, no, sir, not like that, sir. For example, if we are humans, our friends are also humans only, no, sir.
Okay, so therefore if humans are chemicals then our friends are also chemicals. Okay, அதான சொல்றேன்?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Makes sense. Okay, அடுத்தது. Okay, what about our babies? Babies தான் chemicals சொல்லுவோம்பா. Okay, வெளியில சொன்னா அதாவது எவ்வளவு மனசுக்கு கஷ்டப்படுதுல அவங்களுக்குலாம். What about this? Our babies are chemicals. True or false?
True.
Okay, right. Okay, அடுத்தது the air we breathe is chemicals.
Yes, sir. True, sir.
True, sir.
The clothes we wear are chemicals. கிட்டத்தட்ட எங்க கெமிக்கல்க்கு நான் ஒரு ஆடே நடத்திட்டு இருக்கேன். Okay, the clothes we wear are chemicals. True or false?
True.
Okay, அடுத்தது.
True, sir.
Excellent. Okay, good. அடுத்தது இந்த சென்டென்ஸ் படிங்களா. இந்த சென்டென்ஸ் நீங்க வந்து படிச்சு பாருங்க. The food we consume is chemicals that are digested by chemicals that turn them into more chemicals, excretes the chemicals and makes us chemicals too. இதுக்கு அர்த்தம் புரியுதாப்பா?
True, sir.
True, sir, because like the
Sir,
food
in
we are
our
eating, like if
in
we are
our
eating
stomach
fried
we
chicken,
have one certain chemicals, sir,
actually,
that will
so if
digest,
you eat
sir.
any fried food means it contains like fat, and
Excellent.
fat will get digested and it turns into fat molecules,
Fat
fat
sir.
proteins, and then it will turn into more chemicals. It will also excrete other chemicals, and then it will make us chemicals.
Okay, நீங்க எல்லாமே ரைட். Okay, so ஸ்டொமக்ல கெமிக்கல்ஸ் இருக்கு நீங்க யாருமா அது? So you all said the right answer.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Okay, அடுத்தது stars are chemicals, the sun is chemicals, moon is chemical, Mars is chemical. Okay, எல்லாமே chemical தான். ஆனா okay ரைட்டா? So எல்லாமே chemical. Okay, for example இந்த அழகான ஒரு குழந்தை இருக்குல்ல, இந்த அப்படியே பல்ல காமிச்சிட்டு இருக்கே, பல்ல இல்ல சாரி நாக்கு. Okay, right? நாக்கு காமிச்சிட்டு இருக்குல்ல, அது ஒரு குழந்தை. அந்த குழந்தையும் chemical தான். It's just a composition of chemicals. But what is this child made of? This child is made of DNA and RNA. Okay, right?
Yes,
DNA
sir.
is a combination of chemicals, RNA is a combination of chemicals. So இது மூலமா நான் என்ன சொல்ல வரேன்? இது பாரு, what is DNA and RNA themselves? DNA அப்படின்றதுல வந்து இன்னும் small molecules இருக்கும். For example, what? இங்கெல்லாம் பாக்குறீங்க இல்ல, இதெல்லாம் chemical structures அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Okay, நீங்க 11th 12th பசங்க இருக்கீங்களாமா? ஹலோ ஹலோ, any students in class 11th and 12th?
Sir?
என்னம்மா உன் பேர் என்னம்மா?
Yes, sir.
உன் பேர் என்னம்மா? நீ 11th படிக்கிறியா 12th
Dikshana.
படிக்கிறியா? Sorry?
Dikshana, sir.
Dikshana, okay, good, yeah. So 11th or 12th படிக்கிறல இந்த மாலிக்யூல்ஸ்லாம் பார்த்திருக்கியாமா? கெமிஸ்ட்ரி புக்லயோ பயாலஜி பிசிக்ஸ்ல கெமிஸ்ட்ரி புக்லயோ பயாலஜி புக்லயோ பார்த்திருக்கியாமா இதெல்லாம்? ஹலோ, பார்க்கலனா கூட ஓகேமா, பார்க்கலன்னு சொன்னா it's perfectly fine.
Sir, can you repeat it again?
Okay, what I was saying is இங்க மூணு ஸ்ட்ரக்சர்ஸ் கொடுத்திருக்குல்ல, கீழே மூணு ஃபிகர் போட்டுருக்கேன். அந்த பேபிக்கு கீழே அந்த சென்டென்ஸ்ல இருக்கு, அதுக்கு கீழே வந்து மூணு கெமிக்கல் ஃபிகர்ஸ் மாதிரி ஏதோ இருக்குல்ல, அதெல்லாம் பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா உங்க புக்ல? Are you familiar with it?
Yes, sir.
Excellent, right? So these are all chemical structures. Okay, so the beauty I want to tell from this slide, okay, is that, okay, right? See, these very small chemicals combine to make big chemicals. Big chemicals like DNA, RNA. All these big chemicals combined together makes us. Okay, so நம்மளாமும் chemicals அப்படின்னு சொன்னா தப்பு கிடையாது, புரியுதா? Although it may sound very awkward. Okay, நீங்க போய் உங்க பாட்டி கிட்டயோ உங்க தாத்தா கிட்டயோ வந்து தாத்தா நீ ஒரு chemical தான் போ தாத்தா அப்படின்னு சொன்னாக்க வந்து தாத்தா may feel deeply offended. Okay, right? But that is the fact. Okay, right? அது நம்ம சொன்னா emotionally we may get offended, but that doesn't change the fact that we're all chemicals. Are we clear about this fact, students? I want to convey this message. Okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, absolutely. So in the point நீங்க தெளிவா புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. Okay, having understood this, okay, next அப்போ என்னதாமா chemical இல்ல, right? If everything is a chemical, then what is not a chemical then? Okay, okay, so சொல்லுங்க, tell me, உங்களுக்கு தோணுது சொல்லுங்க, நீங்க யோசிச்சு இப்ப சொல்லுங்க. நான்
Atoms or quarks?
Atoms chemical தானமா? See, atoms make molecules. Okay, quarks maybe, yes, I get it. Who's this? சொன்னது யாரு?
No, sir, I'm saying that inside that atoms, quark, up quark and down quark will be no. Will it
Okay,
be?
cool. Yeah. But what's your name?
Amrut.
Amrit, cool, excellent. Okay, yeah. Hey, I mean, by the way, you feel free to answer in both Tamil or English. Okay, either is fine for me. Okay, right? Yeah. Okay. So, இப்போ வந்து, almost everything in the universe is a chemical. Quark, maybe not a chemical. Yes, that is one answer. Okay, yeah. அடுத்தது வேற என்ன? எதெல்லாம் chemical இல்ல?
In our body only, no, sir.
என்னப்பா நம்ம பாடியில என்னப்பா சொல்லு?
In our body only, no, sir.
சொல்லு. In our body only what?
Sir, muscles.
Muscles என்னப்பா சொல்லு? What is muscle made of?
Sir, tissues and cells, sir.
Okay, what are tissues and cells made of?
Yes, sir. Cells, sir.
Okay. So it is right. It is okay to call muscles chemicals. Okay, no problem.
Yes, sir.
Although it is not conventional. Okay, it is fine to call that. அப்ப சொல்லு, வேற என்ன இருக்கு? யோசிச்சு சொல்லுங்களேன், ஒரு 2 minutes எடுத்துக்கோங்க. Okay, ரூம் போட்டு யோசிச்சு சொல்லுங்க. Oops, நான் உங்களுக்கு ஆன்சரே கொடுத்துட்டேனே. அச்சச்சோ. Okay, சொல்லுங்க. Give me a few examples.
Sir, energy.
Energy. Excellent. Energy na என்னமா? What is energy, by the way?
The strength we get to
Or is it like a force?
today lives.
Okay. See, scientific. Okay. Although in local language, okay, in local languages நம்ம வந்து ஒரு எனர்ஜெட்டிக்கா இருக்குப்பா, அதாவது வந்து பாசிட்டிவ் எனர்ஜி, நெகட்டிவ் எனர்ஜி, அந்த எனர்ஜி இந்த எனர்ஜி அப்படிலாம் சொல்லுவோம். Okay, but in reality when speaking of science, right, energy வந்து அவ்வளோ well definedலாம் இல்லவே இல்லை. Okay, right? So energy is not that well defined in science itself. நீங்க வந்து உங்க third standardலயோ fourth standardலயோ படிச்சிருப்பீங்க. Energy is the ability to do work அப்படின்னு படிச்சிருக்கீங்களா?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
அதுதான் வந்து best definition of energy even at PhD level. Okay, so அதுக்கு மேல வந்து like energy is only vaguely defined. So yes, for example, okay, energy is one brilliant example. Okay, right? Energy la வந்து they arise when chemicals change from one to another. Okay, right? ஒரு chemical இன்னொரு chemical ஆ மாறும்போது energy இருக்கும், but energy itself is not a chemical. Okay, and hey, what about light? Light chemical
No, sir.
exactly. Okay, so sound chemical
No, sir.
No, sir.
vacuum na enna kelvipattirukeenga?
Empty.
Exactly, vacuum na onnume illa, emi ledhu. Okay, right? Adha vacuum. Okay, so vacuum chemical illa. And what about emotions? Emoticon illa, emotion adu chemicals illaya?
No, sir.
No,
Emotions
sir.
again arise as a result
No,
of
sir.
chemicals. Okay, but they are themselves not chemicals. Okay, so in the slide மூலமா என்ன சொல்ல வரேன் அப்படின்னா, there are a few things, but very few things which are not chemicals. Okay, புரிஞ்சுதா? அதனால the point is almost everything in this universe is a chemical. Okay, இத நீங்க முதல்ல கத்துக்கணும். Okay, there are very few things which are not chemicals. Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah, what any other thing you can think of? இப்போ உங்களுக்கு
Sir,
கேக்குறேன்,
sir.
நம்ம எல்லாரும் இந்த 2 வருஷமா நம்ம ஃப்ரெண்ட் கோவிட் வைரஸ் மிஸ்டர் கோவிட் வைரஸ் இருக்காங்கல்ல, ஓகே, அவங்க வந்து கெமிக்கலா இல்லையா?
So they're chemicals, sir, because they contain DNA and RNA.
Exactly. Okay, so COVID virus chemicals. Okay, and the COVID virus போடுற vaccination,
They also because they contain mRNA. They contain mRNA.
okay, exactly. So that is the point I want to tell you. Okay, so உலகத்துல முக்காவாசி 99%, 99.5% விஷயங்கள் வந்து chemicals தான். Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And in fact, நம்ம பயப்படக்கூடாது. என்னடா இது இந்த நாள் வந்து நம்மளெல்லாம் chemicals அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டானே அப்படின்னு. Okay, நம்ம எல்லாரும் chemicals தான். Okay, right? Although like it feels bad to say that, like ஐயோ நான் chemical தானா, நான் after all chemical தானா அப்படின்னு. Okay, but when you think about it, that is not false. Okay, right? Okay, சரிப்பா, இதெல்லாம் எதுக்கு நான் உங்ககிட்ட சொல்றேன்? Okay, இதெல்லாம் எதுக்கு நான் சொல்றேன்? Why do I even care? Okay, so okay, இந்த ஸ்லைட்ல இருக்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல என்ன படிங்க நீங்க? இதுக்கு என்ன அர்த்தம்? கத்தி படிக்கலாம். அன்மியூட் பண்ணி எல்லாம் சேர்ந்து கத்தி படிக்கலாம். Yeah,
Chemical is not a bad word, sir.
exactly. Chemical வந்து அதாவது வந்து it is not like stupid idiot. Okay, nonsense அந்த மாதிரி இல்ல இது. Okay, so chemical is not a bad word. புரியுதா? What I'm saying is எல்லாமே வந்து chemical free சொல்லுவாங்க இல்ல. So chemical free சாப்பாடு பாசிபிளா?
No, sir.
Exactly. So chemical free சாப்பாடு is not possible. Chemical free clothes possible?
Sir, உங்க சொல்லுவாங்கல சார், இதெல்லாம் இது எல்லாமே chemicals, அது chemicals தான்.
என்னமா கேக்கலமா? இன்னும் வாட்டி
So
சொல்லு.
நிறைய peoplesலாம் சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல, இந்த வெஜிடபிள்ஸ்லாம் வந்துட்டு நேச்சுரல், இது எல்லாமே chemicals தான், waste chemicals அந்த மாதிரிலாம் சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல. So அது எல்லாமே chemicals தான், நேச்சுரலா இருந்தாலும் இதா இருந்தாலும்.
Exactly, see, அங்கதான் beautiful point. Okay, அங்கதான் நம்ம வந்து okay, vegetables are also chemicals. Okay, அங்க நம்ம எவ்வளவு கேர்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கணும் அப்படினாக்க வந்து okay, amount தான் மேட்டர்ஸ். Okay, வெஜிடபிள்ஸ்ல வந்து இருக்க கெமிக்கல் வந்து ரைட்டான அமௌண்ட்ல ரைட்டான ப்ரொபோர்ஷன்ல இருந்ததுன்னா வந்து that is good for us human beings. Okay, அதே வந்து அளவுக்கு மிஞ்சினால், தமிழ் படிச்சிருக்கீங்களா நீங்க எல்லாரும்? அளவுக்கு மிஞ்சினால் அமுதம் நஞ்சே, கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Okay, so அந்த கெமிக்கல்ஸோட காம்போசிஷன் வந்து மாறி போச்சு அப்படின்னாக்க வந்து இட்ஸ் a problem. Okay, ஆனா அந்த கெமிக்கல் சரியான அளவுல இருந்தது அப்படின்னா நமக்கு வந்து ரொம்ப நல்லது. புரிஞ்சுதா? ஹலோ, புரியுதாமா?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Okay, so the point is, so chemical சொன்னோனே உங்களுக்கு என்ன ஞாபகம் வரும்? கெமிக்கல்னா வந்து கெமிஸ்ட்ரி லேப்ல வந்து பச்சை கலர், மஞ்சள் கலர், all these colors. Okay, right? அதெல்லாம் ஞாபகம் வரும் உங்களுக்கு. இல்லன்னா எவனோ ஏதாவது வந்து கொளுத்துறாங்க அப்படின்னாக்க வந்து அது ஞாபகம் வரும். இல்லன்னா பொல்யூஷன் ஞாபகம் வரும். ரைட்டா? Am I right? இருங்க. Am I right with
Yes,
this?
sir.
Right, Abba?
sir.
But wait, நீங்க கெமிக்கல்னா இத ஒண்ணு நினைக்க கூடாது. Okay, the key is, okay, what is this? உங்க லெஃப்ட் ஹேண்ட் சைடுல என்ன இருக்கு?
Food.
Chemical.
கெமிக்கல் குட் ஓகே பட் என்ன கெமிக்கல் அது?
Sir, what's the, can you repeat the question?
உங்களோட ஸ்கிரீனோட லெஃப்ட் ஹேண்ட் சைடு பாட்டம்ல என்ன இருக்கு? அதாவது வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் காலம் அந்த திங்க் ஆஃப் திஸ் கெமிக்கல்ஸ் இருக்கு. என்ன இருக்கு? என்ன சாப்பாடு அது?
Pizza, dosa.
எக்ஸாக்ட்லி. அந்த தோசை இருக்கு, சீஸ் இருக்கு, ஒயிட் சட்னி இருக்கு, ரெட் சட்னி இருக்கு.
So
இப்பதான்
it
லஞ்ச்
contain
சாப்பிட்டீங்க.
like cheese னா வந்துட்டு அது fat protein எல்லாம் so protein chemicals இருக்கும்.
அவ்வளவுதான், அதேதான் எக்ஸாக்ட்லி. ஓகே, சோ தோசையும் கெமிக்கல் தான், புரியுதா? உங்க வீட்ல வந்து எவ்வளவு சுத்தமா பண்ணாலும் தோசையும் கெமிக்கல் தான். ஓகே, ஆர் யூ கிளியர்?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
எக்ஸலென்ட். ஓகே, தோசைக்கு பக்கத்துல என்ன இருக்கு?
Chutney, sir.
எக்ஸலென்ட். ஓகே, அந்த தோசை சட்னி பிளேட் இருக்குல்ல, அது பக்கத்து இமேஜ்ல என்ன பாருங்க?
Computer.
சூப்பர். ஓகே, ரைட். யா. சோ
CPU, sir.
அந்த கம்ப்யூட்டர் என்னது?
CPU, sir.
CPU ல வந்து காப்பரோட wires இருக்கும். காப்பர் கெமிக்கல் அதாவது காப்பர் wires அந்த
Copper wire, sir.
அத கூட
அவ்வளவுதான், அதேதான். காப்பர் வயர் ஒன்று இந்த எக்ஸாக்ட்லி. அதுல வந்து சிப்புன்னு ஒண்ணு கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா?
Yeah, the nan
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
chip.
சிப்புனா என்ன? நம்ம சாப்பிடுவோமே அதுவா?
இல்ல
No,
inter
sir. Processor, sir.
No, sir.
Processor
Processor, sir.
inter core ல processor chips னு சொல்லுவாங்க.
அவ்வளவுதான், அதேதான். ஓகே, நம்ம அதெல்லாம் என்ன பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னா வந்து அதுல வந்து நீங்க +1 +2 படிக்கும் போது உங்களுக்கு தெரிய வரும். ஓகே, லாஜிக் கேட்ஸ் மீன்ஸ் எக்ஸ்பெரிமெண்ட்ஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க. +2 ஸ்டூடண்ட்ஸ் இருக்கீங்களா யாராவது? 12th ஸ்டூடண்ட்ஸ். ஹலோ ஹலோ 12th ஸ்டூடண்ட்ஸ் இருக்கீங்களா இல்ல 11th ஸ்டூடண்ட்ஸ்? லாஜிக் கேட்ஸ் அப்படின்னு கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா யாராவது? ஏதாவது ஒரு வார்த்தையை
No, sir.
Sir, repeat again, sir.
ஒரு கேள்விப்பட்டதுல நோ ப்ராப்ளம். நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சதே நிறைய விஷயம் இருக்கு, தெரியாததை பத்தி எதுக்கு? ஓகே, சோ அந்த சிப்ல வந்து நிறைய கால்குலேஷன் பண்ணலாம். ஓகே, தட் டெக்னாலஜி இஸ் பிரில்லியன்ட். ஓகேயா? ஓகே, சோ 1 செகண்ட். ஓகே, யா. சோ அந்த சிப் வந்து அதுவும் கெமிக்கல் தான். ஓகே, ரைட். சோ அதுவும் கெமிக்கல். தோ இந்த கேசிங்கும் கெமிக்கல். சட்னி, புட் சட்னி. ஓகே, ரைட். சட்னியும் கெமிக்கல். ஓகே, ரைட். இப்போ நம்ம பக்கத்துல கடைசியில என்ன பிக்சர் தெரியுது உங்களுக்கு?
Trees.
Exactly.
Trees, sir.
Trees,
Forest.
forest எல்லாமே அழகா தெரியுது இல்ல? அதெல்லாம் கெமிக்கல்ஸா இல்லையா?
Sir, leaves
Yes, sir.
chemicals.
அவ்வளவுதான்மா, அதேதான். எக்ஸாக்ட்லி. குளோரோஃபில், போட்டோசிந்தசிஸ், அது இது
Tomato.
எக்ஸாக்ட்லி. அவ்வளவு விஷயம் இருக்குல்ல. சோ the point is chemicals are not bad too. Okay, don't think of chemicals as bad alone. Okay, right? எல்லாமே வந்து சரியான காம்பினேஷன்ல இருந்தாக்க something is good for us. சரியான காம்பினேஷன்ல இல்லனா something is bad for us. And chemical free அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்கன்னா அவங்களுக்கு என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு ஒண்ணு தெரியல, இல்லனா நம்மள ஏமாத்துறாங்க. புரியுதா? Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
நான் இன்ஃபேக்ட் உங்ககிட்ட இன்னொரு விஷயம் சொல்லிடுறேன். ஓகே, இப்போ வந்து we think that like always something natural is good, right? Something natural is good, something chemical is bad அப்படிதான் நம்ம சொல்லுவோம். பட் நேச்சர்ல கூட எவ்வளவு பாய்சன் இருக்கு தெரியுமா? do you know that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
சோ நேச்சர்லயே வந்து கெட்ட கெமிக்கலும் இருக்கு, நல்ல கெமிக்கல்ஸும் இருக்கு. அதே மாதிரி நம்ம சிந்தசைஸ் பண்றதுலயும் வந்து கெட்ட கெமிக்கல்ஸ் இருக்கு, நல்ல கெமிக்கல்ஸும் இருக்கு. ஓகே, சோ எல்லாமே வந்து கெமிக்கல்னாலே கெட்ட வார்த்தை அப்படின்னு நீங்க நினைக்க கூடாது. எஸ்பெஷலி as science enthusiasts, as people like who want to do science. Okay, right? இப்போ உங்க எல்லாருக்கும் நான் முக்கியமா என்ன சொல்லிக்கிறேன் அப்படின்னாக்க வந்து ஓகே, ரைட், கெமிக்கல் இஸ் நாட் a bad word. கெமிக்கல்ஸ் அப்படின்னா வந்து எல்லாமே வந்து கெட்டது அப்படின்னு நினைக்க கூடாது. இன்ஃபேக்ட் நம்ம அதாவது வந்து நானு, நீங்க, நம்ம தொடர கம்ப்யூட்டர், நம்ம போட்டுக்கிற ட்ரெஸ், ஓகே, நம்ம கிட்ட இருக்கிற வாட்டர் பாட்டில், செல்போன், பிளா பிளா பிளா, ஓகே, அது எல்லாமே கூட வந்து கெமிக்கல்ஸ் தான் அப்படின்னு சொன்னா தப்பே இல்லை. ஆல்ரைட், இஸ் இட் கிளியர்?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
I'll proceed further. ஏதாவது questions இருக்காமா உங்களுக்கு? If you have any questions, like it can be any doubt, okay? Feel free to ask me. Any questions? சொல்லுமா.
Sir, books are made up of chemicals, sir.
ஆமாம்பா, டெஃபினட்டா.
How, sir?
How? நீயே சொல்லு. புக்ல என்ன இருக்கு?
Paper, sir.
பேப்பர்னா என்னப்பா?
Paper bag.
பேப்பர்னா என்ன சொல்லு?
Paper is coming from bamboo, sir.
ஆமா, ஓகே. பேம்பூல என்ன இருக்கு? எக்ஸலென்ட். பேம்பூனா என்ன?
பேம்புல இருந்து ஒரு கெமிக்கல் ரிலீஸ் ஆகுதானே சார், அந்த மாதிரி தான்.
அதான்ப்பா, அதேதான்.
Sir, cellulose.
சோ இப்போ சொல்லு. So therefore, okay, right? புக் கெமிக்கலா இல்லையாப்பா?
Yes, sir. Book is chemical, sir.
அது என்ன? ஓகே, சோ அதாவது எனக்கு கெமிக்கல்ஸே பிடிக்காது அப்படின்னு வந்து புக் எல்லாம் தூக்கி போட முடியுமா? ரைட்?
No,
Sir,
sir.
அப்ப அந்த நியூக்ளியர் பாம்ப்லாம் கூட கெமிக்கல் தான்.
ஆமா எல்லாமே கெமிக்கல் தான். எக்ஸாக்ட்லி. ஓகே
Excuse me, sir.
சொல்லுமா.
Is energy having a physical form?
Does energy have a physical form? Physical form, what do you mean? Like as human beings, you mean?
Like if we can see the energy or if we can touch the energy.
You can, okay. That's a very good question. Okay, I will tell you what it is. Okay, energy manifests itself as like in the form of waves sometimes. Okay, all right. Hello.
Yes, sir.
So you can feel waves, right? You can feel the waves sometimes, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
In that sense, okay, right? You can feel energy. Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
Next question, can we touch energy? Okay, that is very tricky. Okay, if what touch energy அப்படினா நான் best example சொல்றேன். Don't do this. Okay, அந்த I don't know, நீங்கலாம் வந்து டிவி பாப்பீங்களா?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
டிவில உங்களுக்கு அந்த சென்டர் ஃபிஷ்னு ஒரு chewing gum இருக்கு, கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
சென்டர் ஃபிஷோட ஒரு ஆட் வரும், திமாக் கி பத்தி ஜலாதே அப்படின்னு. அவன் வந்து அந்த ஸ்விட்சை தொடுவான், அவனுக்கு ஷாக் அடிக்கும், அப்படின்னு ஆடுவான். பாத்திருக்கீங்களா?
yes, sir.
அது பாத்திருக்கீங்களா? அப்போ ஆக்சுவலி அந்த பையன் என்ன பண்ணுவான், அவன் வந்து எதை தொடுவான்?
எலக்ட்ரிசிட்டி.
அவன் ஸ்விட்சை தொடுறான். ஓகே, பட் ஸ்விட்சை தொட்டா ஏன் ஷாக் அடிக்குது?
ஏன்னா அந்த ஸ்விட்ச் எலக்ட்ரிசிட்டியை கண்டக்ட் பண்ணுது.
Exactly. So and then என்ன ஆகுது? What is electricity? அந்த electric energy அவனுக்குள்ள போகுது, ரைட்டா?
Yes, sir.
So in that sense, can you touch energy?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
ஆனா எனர்ஜி தொட்டா என்ன ஆகும்?
ரொம்ப டேஞ்சரஸ்.
அதான் ஷாக் அடிக்கலாம். ஓகே, எக்ஸாக்ட்லி. சோ எலக்ட்ரிக் எனர்ஜி தொட்டா ஷாக் அடிக்கும், புரியுதா?
சார் அவங்க இந்த மாதிரி கூட பண்ணுவாங்க. இப்ப நம்மளோட ஒரு பிளாஸ்டிக் சேர்ல உட்கார்ந்துட்டு நம்ம இப்ப நம்மளோட லெக்ஸ வந்துட்டு கிரவுண்ட் வர 2-3 சென்டிமீட்டர்ஸ் வந்துட்டு அப் ரைஸ் பண்ணிட்டு நம்ம கையில வந்துட்டு ஒரு லெதர் ஜாக்கெட் வச்சு பின்னாடி அடிச்சிட்டு இருந்துட்டு நம்ம தொட்டோம்னா இப்ப நம்மளோட பாடியில வந்து சார்ஜும் இன்னொருத்தவங்களோட இந்த 2 ரிங் ஃபிங்கர்ஸ் மட்டும் தொட்டோம்னா மிடில் ஒரு ஸ்பார்க் மாதிரி வரும்.
எக்ஸாக்ட்லி, அது என்ன எக்ஸாக்ட்லி. சோ அதாவது வந்து எக்ஸாக்ட்லி, சோ எலக்ட்ரிசிட்டி டச் பண்ணலாம், புரியுதா? You get it right? So in that sense also, right? You see, basically நமக்கு I'll tell you something about energy. Okay, don't forget this idea about energy. Okay, நமக்கு எனர்ஜினா என்னன்னு தெரியாது, but we know how to convert one form of energy to another form of energy. That we know very well. Okay, but the beauty is that energy itself நமக்கு actually தெரியாது. Okay, scientifically speaking. Okay, நீங்க சயின்டிஃபிக்கா இல்லாம உங்க வீட்டுல வந்து ஏதாவது வந்து அப்பா நான் வந்து இந்த இடத்துக்கு போனா பீச் போனா எனக்கு பாசிட்டிவ் எனர்ஜி வருது, பீச் பக்கத்துல போனா எனக்கு பாசிட்டிவ் எனர்ஜி வருது, மலை ஏறினா எனக்கு பாசிட்டிவ் எனர்ஜி வருது, blah blah blah, right? அதெல்லாம் வந்து உங்க நம்பிக்கை. ஓகே, ரைட்? That is not science. புரியுதா? Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So scientifically speaking, okay, right? Energy வந்து அவ்வளவு ஸ்ட்ரிக்ட்டா வெல் டிஃபைன்ட் இல்ல அந்த வார்த்தை. Okay, but we know what electric energy is, we know what chemical energy is, I don't know, we know what like mechanical energy is. நம்ம வண்டிலாம் ஓட்டிட்டு போறோமே, okay, right? அதெல்லாம் வந்து chemical மெக்கானிக்கல் எனர்ஜி தான் மொத்தம். புரியுதா? ஓகே பசங்களா? ஓகே, are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, may I proceed further?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, cool. Okay, so இப்போ ஸ்லைடு மாத்தணும். இந்த ஸ்லைடு அப்படியே இருக்கு. ஓகே, நெக்ஸ்ட் வந்து இப்போ நம்ம என்ன பார்த்தோம்னா, இப்போ ஆல்மோஸ்ட் எவ்ரிதிங் இஸ் a chemical அப்படின்னா இந்த ஆல்மோஸ்ட் நதிங் தான் என்னப்பா? இந்த டாக்ல இருந்து ஆல்மோஸ்ட் நதிங் அப்படின்னு சொன்னேன் இல்ல, அப்படின்னா என்ன அப்படின்றது வந்து நம்ம கொஞ்சம் பார்க்கலாம். ஓகே, இப்போ this question, okay, right? நீங்க 7th 8th 9th படிச்சீங்கன்னா கொஞ்சம் வந்து நீங்க you may relax. Okay, இந்த question நீங்க ஆன்சர் பண்ண வேண்டாம். But those of you in 11th and 12th, okay, right? உங்க 11th and 12th ல இருக்கவங்க இந்த question try to answer it. Okay, so 1 centimeter cube னா என்னன்னு தெரியுமா உங்களுக்கு? Do you all know, even if you're 8th standard student or something, 1 centimeter cube அப்படின்னா என்னன்னு தெரியுமா? What is 1 centimeter cube? What is that?
1 centimeter cube means it's like I don't know how to explain it, but for an example we can take a straight line like 1 centimeter, then we can, if it's like one square, that straight line means it's 1 centimeter square, and if that's 1 centimeter, if it's in a cube format means it's 1 centimeter cube.
In other words, okay, நம்மள சுத்தி இருக்கிற ஸ்பேஸ், okay, right? நம்ம சுத்தி இருக்கிற ஸ்பேஸ்ல வந்து it is a very small volume. Okay, yeah, ஒத்துப்பீங்களா? Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so நம்ம பக்கத்துல இருக்க 1 centimeter cube ஸ்பேஸ் இருக்கு. Okay, அதுல எவ்வளவு மாலிக்யூல்ஸ் இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க நீங்க?
like we don't know for sure, sir, because there'll be unlimited or like not unlimited, but it will be an amount that we cannot count.
Unpredictable, sir.
Unpredictable. Okay, cool. நீ என்னப்பா படிக்கிற? என்ன கிளாஸ்ல படிக்கிற நீ?
8th, sir.
8th. Okay, excellent. Okay, யாராவது fair enough. Okay, right? Yeah, கொஞ்சம் வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க நீங்க. Okay, யாராவது 10th 11th 12th இருக்கீங்களா? In particular 11th and 12th. Hello. So நீங்க இத can you try to answer this? Okay, if it is too difficult, okay, நானே சொல்லிடுறேன். Okay, the answer is something like 10 to the power 23. இது எப்படி இது வந்து ஐடியல் கேஸ் லா மூலமா நம்ம டிரைவ் பண்ணலாம். ஓகே, ஐடியல் கேஸ் something 11th 12th ல இருக்கவங்க படிச்சிருக்கீங்கல்ல? ஹலோ
Sir, I think 11th and 12th are not having, sir.
என்னதுப்பா? not having what?
11th and 12th இல்ல போல, sir.
ஓ இந்த
They are not in the meeting, sir.
ஓ இந்த மீட்டிங்ல இல்லையா? சூப்பர். ஓகே, அப்போ விடுங்க. ஓகே, அப்பனா விடுங்க. ஓகே, அப்படினா வந்து நீங்க 8th படிக்கிறீங்களா? 8th 9th 10th படிக்கிறீங்களா? உங்களுக்கு இந்த கேள்வி வேணும். இந்த ஆன்சர்ல வந்து நான் வந்து 10 அதுக்கு மேல 23 அப்படினு போட்டுருக்கேன். அதுக்கு என்ன அர்த்தம்பா? அது சொல்லுங்க.
10 to the power 23.
10 to the power 23, sir.
10 into 23 times.
10 multiplied by itself 23 times.
It is somewhat in only octillions or nonillions.
எக்ஸலென்ட், கூல். அப்படினா அதுல எவ்வளவு ஜீரோ இருக்கு?
23 zeros.
23.
23 24
no,
24 sir.
20, sir.
எல்லாரும் நீங்க ஒரு சமரசத்துக்கு வந்துட்டு எனக்கு பதில் சொல்லுங்க. 23 இருக்கா 24 இருக்கா?
23 sir.
24.
இந்த நம்பர்ல 10 to the power 23 அப்படிங்கற நம்பர்ல எவ்வளவு zeros இருக்கு?
Sir, 23 zeros sir.
24.
ஓகே, 24 zeros சொன்னது யாரு? ஹலோ, 24 zeros சொன்னது யாருப்பா? ஏய் சொல்லுங்கம்மா, 24 zeros சொன்னது யாரு?
Sir, Amrut sir.
ஏன் 24 zeros சொன்ன?
Because it's 10, we already have 10, sir, so we can include 1 zero
We already have
and we add 20.
Exactly.
1 0 equal to 24.
ஆமா, நீங்க வந்து 7th 8th scientific notation படிச்சிருப்பீங்கல்ல?
Yes sir.
அதேதான். So 10 to the power 23 அப்படினா என்ன அர்த்தம்? 1 into 10 into 10 to the power 23, ரைட்டா?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
எவ்வளவு ஜீரோ இருக்கு?
24.
அவ்வளவுதான். புரிஞ்சுச்சா? Are we good? Are we clear?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes sir.
இப்ப பாருங்க, சோ இது எழுதவே உங்க கிளாஸ்ல வந்து ஒரு லைன்ல அவ்வளவு ஜீரோவே போட முடியாது கிட்டத்தட்ட, ரைட்? சோ ரெண்டு லைன் 3 லைனாவது அவ்வளவு ஜீரோ வரும். ஓகே, ரைட்? அவ்வளவு நிறைய மாலிக்யூல்ஸ் நம்ம பக்கத்துல இருக்கு. நம்ம பக்கத்துல நம்ம என்ன நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கோம்? ஓகே, ரைட்? நம்ம பக்கத்துல, ரைட்? as in like நீங்க எங்க வேணா இருங்க. ஓகே, நீங்க எந்த ஊர்ல வேணா இருங்க, நீங்க எந்த மாவட்டத்துல வேணா இருங்க, நீங்க என்ன வேணா பண்ணுங்க. உங்களுக்கு பக்கத்துல, ஓகே, ரைட்? உங்களுக்கு பக்கத்துல தமா தூண்டு ஸ்பேஸ் இருக்குல்ல, அதுல இவ்வளவு மாலிக்யூல்ஸ் இருக்கு. Isn't it amazing? ஹலோ.
Yes sir.
நம்ம என்ன நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கோம்? என் பக்கத்துல ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல பச்சிப்போ, அதாவது என் பக்கத்துல வெறும் லைக் ஜஸ்ட் ஏர், ஓகே, ஒரு மண்ணும் இல்ல, வாட் நான்சென்ஸ் அப்படி நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கோம் நம்ம. ஓகே, பட் அங்க இவ்ளோ இருக்கு, இவ்ளோ மாலிக்யூல்ஸ் நம்ம பக்கத்துலயே இருக்கு. ஓகே, இப்போ now imagine this. ஓகே, இந்த 10 to the power நம்ம பக்கத்துல எதுவும் இல்ல நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கிறதுல இவ்ளோ இருக்கு. now imagine the case where இந்த நம்பர் வந்து ரொம்ப கம்மி ஆயிடுது. ஓகே, எங்க 10 to the power 23 ல 24, ஓகே, ரைட்? அவ்வளோ இருக்கிறதுல இருந்து வந்து 10 to the power 3, 10 to the power 3 னா என்ன? எவ்வளோ?
1000.
Exactly. Okay, so 1000 or even lesser. Hey, by the way, a small mistake. Okay, right? I made a small mistake. Okay, right? 10 to the power 23 ல வந்து 23 zero தான் இருக்கு. It is 1 into 10 to the power 23. Sorry. Okay, right? So I made a mistake. Okay, so please note this. Okay, ஏதோ ஞாபகத்துல உளவிட்டேன். Okay, blah blah blah. So 10 to the power 23 ல வந்து 23 zeros தான் இருக்கு. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
So that was the mistake I made. Okay, the mistake I made was like ஏதோ உளவிட்டேன். Okay, so 10 to the power 23 ல there are only 23 zeros. That is 1 followed by 23 zeros. There are overall 24 digits. That is what I meant to say. Are we good?
Yeah, sir.
Okay.
Yes sir.
Yeah, so please stay corrected. Okay, so this is one more point. Okay, actually,
Yes sir.
yeah, உங்ககிட்ட see நீங்கலாம் சினிமா படம்லாம் பாப்பீங்களா? I'll tell you one thing. Okay, படம் பாப்பீங்களா நீங்க?
Yes, sir.
I said,
Yes
Papa,
sir.
sir.
பாப்பீங்கல்ல? நீங்க நான் சொல்ல படத்தோட பேர் கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா? சூது கவும் அப்படின்னு ஒரு படம் கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
அந்த படம் பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா?
Yes, sir.
அந்த
What
படம்
movie, sir?
சூது கவும் Vijay Sethupathi movie. It came, probably when if you're 8th standard now, right? Probably the movie came when you were like, I don't know, 4 or 5 or something.
Yes, sir.
அந்த படத்துல வந்து 5 rules of kidnapping சொல்லிருப்பாங்களா? ஞாபகம் இருக்கா?
You can say again.
அந்த படத்துல 5 rules of kidnapping அப்படினு சொல்லுவாங்க.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
அதுல வந்து most important rule என்ன?
Sir, we should not kill them, sir.
அது okay, but you should definitely not kill them. Okay, yes, அது ஒண்ணு. அதோட more important rule என்ன? கடைசில ஒரு ரூல் சொல்லுவாங்க, என்ன தெரியுமா? ஓகே,
சேஃபா போய் அவங்கள விட்டுறணும் ஒரு இடத்துல.
நான் சொல்றேன் சொதப்பினா ஒத்துக்கணும் அப்படின்னுவாங்க. ஓகே, புரியுதா?
எஸ் சார், எஸ் சார்.
அதுக்கு என்ன அர்த்தம்? சொதப்பினா ஒத்துக்கணும் அப்படின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? என்னமா சொல்லுங்க?
We should accept our flaws.
Exactly, we should accept whatever mistake we made. Okay, that is not just a lesson for kidnapping, it is an extremely important lesson in science itself. நம்ம எவ்வளவு வேணா தப்பு பண்ணலாம். ஓகே, எவ்வளவு வேணா தப்பு பண்ணலாம். ஓகே, பட் பண்ண தப்பெல்லாம் உடனே ஒத்துண்டிடணும். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், இங்க 10⁻23 வந்து நான் வந்து 24 டிஜிட்ஸ் இருக்குன்னு பதிலா வந்து 24 zeros இருக்குன்னு தப்பா சொன்னேன்ல, அதை உடனே ஒத்துக்கணும். ஓகே, அது கிளியர்?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is very critical for science. Okay, இதை வச்சே வந்து ஒரு சயின்ஸ்ல வந்து எவ்வளவு பேர் வந்து நிறைய தப்பு பண்ணுவாங்க. ஏன்னா நம்ம முதல் வாட்டி பண்ணுவோம் இல்ல, எல்லாருக்குமே எல்லாமே தெரிஞ்சுதான் சயின்ஸ் பண்ணணும்னு இல்ல, தெரியாம பண்ணுவாங்க. பட் தெரியாம பண்ணும்போது வந்து they immediately learn from mistakes. Okay, so what is the point? மிஸ்டேக்கே பண்ணாம நம்ம இருக்க முடியாது. மிஸ்டேக் பண்ணணும், பட் மிஸ்டேக் பண்ணி அதுல இருந்து கத்துக்கணும். எப்படி கத்துக்கணும்? நான் தப்பு பண்ணிட்டேன்ப்பா அப்படின்னு வந்து சொல்லிட்டு ஒத்துண்டு மேல பண்ணணும். புரியுதா? ஓகே.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
And நம்ம ஒத்துக்கலன்னா வந்து நம்ம மேல ப்ரொசீடே பண்ண மாட்டோம். So that's important. Okay, are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so இப்போ 10⁻23 molecules நம்ம கிட்ட இருக்கு, நம்ம பக்கத்துலயே. ஆனா when we go to this place called interstellar medium, கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா? The word interstellar medium. What is the interstellar medium?
Interstellar medium, sir.
ஆமா, interstellar படம் பார்த்திருப்பீங்க, but interstellar medium என்னன்னு கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா? That is nothing but
Don't know, sir.
Yeah, I will tell you.
It is the medium which
Interstellar medium
travel through space.
it is the vast space, like between stars. Okay, ரெண்டு ஸ்டார். ஓகே, நம்ம வந்து see, நீங்க வந்து probably ஒரு சிட்டிஸ்ல அவ்வளவா உங்களுக்கு ஸ்டார்ஸே தெரியாது. பட் ஒரு கிராமப்புறத்திலயோ இல்லைன்னா வந்து சிட்டிஸ்ல வந்து மொட்டை மாடியில போனீங்க, ரொம்ப மொட்டை மாடிக்கு போனீங்க அப்படின்னா வந்து 10வது ஃப்ளோர் 14வது ஃப்ளோர் அப்படின்னு ஏறி போனீங்க அப்படின்னா சிட்டி லைட்லாம் இல்லாம இருக்க இடத்துல you will see stars, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, ma, yeah. So அந்த ரெண்டு ஸ்டாருக்கு நடுவுல இருக்கிற கேப் தான் வந்து இன்டர்ஸ்டெல்லர் மீடியம் அப்படின்னு பேரு. ஓகே, அது நமக்கு பாக்குறதுக்கு வந்து என்னமோ வந்து 10 மீட்டர் 15 மீட்டர் மாதிரி தான் இருக்கும். ஓகே, but they're actually light years away. Do you understand?
Sir, then what about parsecs? They'll say that there will be one parallel, the parsec.
கேட்கலாமா? எனக்கு புரியல, என்ன சொன்ன நீ?
Light year, நான் இது stars distanceல பார்த்துட்டு சொல்லுவாங்க it will be one parsec away.
எனக்கு சரியா புரியலமா, சாரி. அதாவது லைட் இயருக்கு
லைட் இயர் மாதிரி parsec கூட யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்கல்ல சார், அந்த டிஸ்டன்ஸ்.
நீ chat box ல டைப் பண்ணுவியா அது என்ன அப்படினு? ஏன்னா நான் எனக்கு தெரியல அது என்னன்னு. ஓகே, நீ chat box ல டைப் பண்ணு, நான் என்னன்னு பாத்துக்கிறேன். ஓகேயா?
ஓகே சார்.
ஏன்னா எனக்கு புரியலமா, அவ்வளவுதான். ஓகே, டோன்ட் வரி. நீ எதுவும் தப்பா சொல்லல, டோன்ட் வரி. ஓகே, எனக்கு என்னன்னு புரியல. ஓகே, ப்ராபபிலி உன்னுடைய ஆடியோ கொஞ்சம் ப்ராப்ளமா இருக்கும் என்னமோ. நீ chat box ல டைப் பண்ணு, நான் இதை என்னன்னு பாத்துக்கிறேன். ஓகே, ஃபைன். ஓகே, நீ மெதுவா டைப் பண்ணுமா. ஓகே ஓகே, சோ இதான் ஒரு ஸ்னாப்ஷாட். அதாவது வந்து சும்மா, அதாவது வந்து நீங்க இந்த வாரத்துல பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா வந்து you will absolutely be getting nothing at all. Okay, so this vast empty space between the two stars is called as interstellar medium. Okay, right? அங்க வந்து எதுவுமே இருக்காது. when I say எதுவுமே, I mean like literally nothing will be there. Okay, right? That is called as interstellar medium. And அங்க வந்து there are very few molecules. கிட்டத்தட்ட 1000 molecules என்னமோ தான் இருக்கும், அதோட கம்மியா தான் இருக்கும். Are we fine? Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, chat box la பண்ணிட்டாங்க. Parsec. Okay, yeah. So I actually forgot what parsec means. Okay, but maybe yes, you can do that. Okay, maybe parsec is parsec வந்து இன்னொரு யூனிட் இருக்குமோ என்னமோ. I actually forgot what parsec means. Okay, so நான் என்னன்னு பார்த்து உனக்கு சொல்றேன். Okay Parun?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so Sarvarish has also said no doubt. Thank you, Sarvarish. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. So now this is the situation in what is called as interstellar medium. Okay, so இப்போ இந்த இன்டர்ஸ்டெல்லர் மீடியம்ல யாரு தங்குவாங்க? இப்போ நம்ம பிளானட்ல நம்ம இருக்கோம். ஓகே, இந்த இன்டர்ஸ்டெல்லர் மீடியம்ல நம்ம என்ன பார்த்தோம்னா ரொம்ப கம்மி மாலிக்யூல்ஸ் தான் இருக்காங்க. ஓகே, பட் இந்த இன்டர்ஸ்டெல்லர் மீடியம்ல யாரெல்லாம் இருப்பாங்க அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா, ஓகே ரைட், இன்டர்ஸ்டெல்லர் மீடியம்ல predominantly நிறைய கேஸ் தான் இருக்கும். ஓகே, அண்ட் கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சம் சாலிட் கூட இருக்கும். ஓகே, ஸோ இன்டர்ஸ்டெல்லர் மீடியம்ன்ற இடத்துல வந்து நிறைய கேஸ் மாலிக்யூல்ஸ் இருக்கும், அண்ட் அங்கங்க சாலிட்ஸ் கூட இருக்கும். அண்ட் இந்த கேஸ்லாம் வந்து ரொம்ப டிஃப்யூஸா ஒரு கிளவுட். டிஃப்யூஸ்னா என்ன, அவ்வளவா வந்து கெட்டியா இல்லாம ரொம்ப வந்து மெல்லிசா, எனக்கு சொல்ல தெரியல, இது தமிழ் எனக்கு சொல்ல தெரியல. ஓகே, டிஃப்யூஸ் அப்படின்னா வந்து ரொம்ப கெட்டியா இல்லாம இருக்கிறது. ஓகே, see ரொம்ப திக்கா இல்லாம. ஓகே, that is diffuse. Okay, because it is gas, right? And you also have like dense clouds. dense na என்ன, எல்லா மாலிக்யூல்ஸ் தான் ரொம்ப பக்கத்துல, அது சாலிட் ஸ்டேட். கேஸ் பேஸ்னா மாலிக்யூல்ஸ் தான் தள்ளி இருக்கும். ஓகே, அது diffuse clouds. So இதுதான் வந்து இன்டர்ஸ்டெல்லர் மீடியம்ல இருக்கிற கான்ஸ்டிட்யூயன்ட்ஸ். ஓகே, and this is a beautiful thing. Imagine this, இன்டர்ஸ்டெல்லர் மீடியம்ல லிக்விட்ஸே கிடையாதுப்பா. ஓகே, you would be astonished. இப்போ நம்ம see, do you understand something? ஓகே, நம்ம உலகத்துல நம்ம வாழறோம் இல்ல, அதுக்கு ஒரு முக்கியமான காரணம் என்ன? Water. Exactly. நம்ம liquid water தான் நம்ம ஜாலியா குடிச்சிட்டு இருக்கோம். Okay, right? Not liquid Coca-Cola, liquid Pepsi அதெல்லாம் இல்ல. Okay, right? Liquid water, right? But liquid water அங்க இல்லவே இல்ல. Liquid water இல்ல, எந்த லிக்விடுமே கிடையாது. Okay, that space is so special. Okay, நீங்க காலேஜ் வந்தா தான் உங்களுக்கு தெரியும், நீங்க காலேஜ் லெவல் வந்தா தான் உங்களுக்கு வந்து அங்க ஏன் லிக்விட் இல்ல அப்படின்னு உங்களுக்கு ஆக்சுவலா புரியும். Okay, அதுக்கு முன்னாடி வந்து because the reason is a bit scientifically involved. Okay,
Sir, I don't know for sure, but will it be because the temperature of space is literally close to absolute 0 Kelvin, so it will freeze?
Yeah, excellent. Okay, but that is part of the reason. Okay, temperature is one part, but see, அதாவது ஏதோ ஒரு சப்ஸ்டன்ஸ் வந்து சாலிடா இருக்கா, லிக்விடா இருக்கா, கேஸா இருக்கா அப்படின்றத டெம்பரேச்சர் only டிசைட் பண்ணாது, இன்னொரு ஃபேக்டர் டிசைட் பண்ணும். Can you guess what it is? ஒன்னு டெம்பரேச்சர், இன்னொரு
ஸ்டேட்மென்ட் சார்.
என்னமா?
அதோட ஸ்டேட் சார்.
அதான்ப்பா, but what decides what state it is in? Temperature is one thing.
Because
okay,
of the waves, no sir, if you are leaving that heliosphere, heliopause and all that galaxy will itself produce some like sun produces solar storms and solar waves, so like that it's a galaxy will also produce interstellar winds and all because of that.
Right, Ma, great. Okay, so temperature is one factor involved. Okay, definitely temperature is right. You are almost 100% right. Okay, right? Yeah, you're right. Okay, but one factor enna, see, it may be a bit tricky for me to explain to you. Okay, நீங்க கொஞ்சம் பெரிய பசங்க ஆன உடனே வந்து, you know, like once you come to college, that explanation can be made easier. Okay, so the point is, see, what decides, you know, like whether something is a solid, liquid or gas, is not just the temperature, but it is also the pressure something is subject to. புரியுதா? ஓகே, இப்போ நீங்க தெரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க இத. ஓகே, so அந்த temperature pressure இதோட combination. Okay, for example, have you all heard that if you climb up the, for example, between Coimbatore and Ooty, okay, right, எங்க வந்து pressure அதிகமா இருக்கும், எங்க pressure கம்மியா இருக்கும்?
Sir, it will be high in
hill station.
Hilly area sir.
Low and
Hilly area,
because
sir.
we are in Coimbatore, it will be high.
Yeah, but between Coimbatore and Ooty itself, ஊட்டிலே ஒரு பெரிய மலை மேலே ஏறி உட்கார்ந்துக்கீங்க, நீங்க வெச்சுக்கோங்களேன் சும்மா ஜாலியா. அப்படினா ஊட்டியோ இல்ல ஊட்டியோ கொடைக்கானலோ எங்கயோ சொல்லுங்க. சோ அங்க வந்து, ஓகே ரைட், சோ அங்க வந்து எதுல வந்து பிரஷர் அதிகமா இருக்கும்?
ஊட்டி சார்.
எக்ஸாக்ட்லி பாடி. என்னப்பா சாட்டிட்டு இருக்க? ஓகே, சோ ஊட்டில தான் வந்து பிரஷர் வந்து அதிகமா இருக்கும். ஓகே, why is that? Because
altitude increase.
Exactly, you will soon see that P equals HOG அப்படி நீங்க மெதுவா படிப்பீங்க. ஓகே, கொஞ்ச நாள் கொஞ்சம் பெரிய ஆன உடனே. So altitude increase ஆகும்போது pressure increase ஆகும். So therefore, okay, இப்போ நீங்க வந்து if you take, எங்க வந்து ஐஸ் ஈஸியா ஃபார்ம் ஆகும்? கோயம்புத்தூர்லயா இல்லனா வந்து ஊட்டிலயா?
ஊட்டி sir.
Exactly, why is that? It is because the temperature is lower in Ooty, but also because the pressure is higher in Ooty. புரியுதா?
Yes sir.
So it is a combination of both of these things. Okay, so in the combination வந்து it so works out beautifully that, okay, ISMல லிக்விடே கிடையாது. ஓகே, so that is the beautiful thing about ISM. ஓகே ஓகே, இப்போ வந்து நீங்க பாருங்களேன், இப்போ வந்து கோயம்புத்தூர்ல நீங்க வாழ்வீங்க, சென்னையில நான் சென்னையோ திருப்பதியில நான் வாழ்ந்துட்டு இருக்கேன். ஓகே ரைட், and then somebody else lives in some other place, etc. இந்த ISMல யாரெல்லாம்ப்பா வாழ்வாங்க? ஓகே, அப்படின்னு நம்ம பார்த்தோம்னா வந்து இந்த ISMல வாழ்றவங்க எல்லாமே வந்து all little fellows, like all baby atoms, right? ஹைட்ரஜன் வாழ்வாரு, ஹைட்ரஜன் தான் நிறைய இருப்பாங்க, ஹீலியம் இருப்பாங்க. ஓகே ரைட், and then so all these fellows with like small atom fellows, இவங்க தான் வந்து இன்டர்ஸ்டெல்லர் மீடியம்ல வாழ்வாங்க. புரியுதா? ஓகே,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
so therefore you may imagine, right? See, நம்ம உடம்புல இந்த மாதிரி வந்து like I don't know 10 to the power 23 molecules மேல together நம்ம molecules உடம்புல இருக்கு. ஓகே, but interstellar mediumல இவ்வளவு குட்டி molecules இருக்கும். So you can imagine, like how different the world that is, right? Are you fascinated? Purida?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So
Yes,
the situation there is completely different. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, having said this, all small molecules. Okay. But okay, நீங்க கேப்பீங்க, ஏம்பா நீங்க வந்து சொல்றீங்க, நீங்க வந்து எங்க கிட்ட எல்லாம் சொல்றீங்க, நீங்க வந்து ஜாலியா என்னமோ நீங்க போய் பாத்தீங்களா? நீங்க என்ன இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் மீடியம் போயிட்டு வந்தீங்களா? நேத்துக்கு தான் நான் போயிட்டு வந்தேன், டிக்கெட் வாங்கிட்டு போயிட்டு வந்தேன்ப்பா, நான் 400 ரூபாய் டிக்கெட் பா. ஓகே, 2 and 4 ஜர்னி அப்படின்னு எப்படி தெரியும் நமக்கு? சோ இது எப்படி தெரியும் அப்படின்னா வந்து நீங்க இதை பத்தி கவலைப்படாதீங்க. I will just give you in the slide like the content பத்திலாம் கவலைப்படாதீங்க. I will just tell you one thing. You can use the technique called as radio telescopy. So telescope மூலமா வந்து spectroscopy அப்படின்ற டெக்னிக் யூஸ் பண்ணி, ஓகே ரைட், இங்க இருந்து இட்ஸ் அமேசிங், ரைட்? நம்ம எங்கேயோ பூமியில இருந்துட்டு, ஓகே ரைட், அங்க எவ்வளவு மாலிக்யூல்ஸ் இருக்கு, என்ன மாலிக்யூல்ஸ் இருக்கு கண்டுபிடிக்கிறோம். Isn't it fascinating? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, I have heard that Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 will also find.
Exactly, adedama, exactly adedam. Hey, by the way, I also looked up, Arun, நான் மறந்தே போயிட்டேன்ப்பா. Okay, 1 parsec it seems is like 3.2 light years. Brilliant. Okay, keep it up. Okay, so yes, so you can also measure it in terms of parsecs also. Arun, are you clear? Are you fine now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, pa. நான் மறந்து போயிட்டேன்ப்பா, அதாவது வந்து parsec நான் மறந்தே போயிட்டேன். Okay, so parsec is just a different unit for like light years. Okay, so the point is, பசங்களா, what you must understand is that, okay, நம்ம இங்க இருந்துட்டே நம்ம நிறைய பண்ணலாம். Okay, but இதுக்கெல்லாம் the beauty is that we don't exactly know how to do it at this stage. Okay, உங்களுக்கு வந்து நீங்க 8ஆம் கிளாஸ் 9ஆம் கிளாஸ் 10ஆம் கிளாஸ் படிப்பீங்க. Okay, so உங்களுக்கு எக்ஸாக்ட்டா தெரிய வேண்டாம் எப்படி பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னு. பட் அதுக்கு தான் வந்து if you take up science, right, you will understand all these nuances. எங்க இருக்கு, எப்படி இருக்கு, என்னெல்லாம் பண்ணா எப்படி படிக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு. இன்ஃபேக்ட் இதெல்லாம் வந்து நீங்க வந்து காலேஜ்ல வந்து if you take up science 3rd yearலயோ 4th yearலயோ தான் you will actually understand. இது பின்னாடி நிறைய physics இருக்கு.
Sir, ஆனா எனக்கு ஒரு டவுட் இருக்கு சார்.
கேளுப்பா.
சார், மாலிக்யூல்ஸ் நம்மளால நேக்கட் ஐஸ்ல பார்க்க முடியாதுல சார்?
சத்தியமா முடியாதுப்பா. ஏன்னா மாலிக்யூல்ஸ் எவ்வளவு குட்டி.
எஸ் சார்.
ஆமா, அதனால வந்து ஆனா நம்ம மாலிக்யூல்ஸ் இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கோம் இல்ல, எப்படி தெரியுது நமக்கு அப்படின்னாக்கா வந்து பிரில்லியன்ட். ஓகே, அதுக்கு சில எக்ஸ்பெரிமெண்ட்ஸ் இருக்கு. ஸ்பெக்ட்ரோஸ்கோபி ஒரு எக்ஸ்பெரிமெண்ட். ஓகே, கிறிஸ்டலோகிராஃபின்றது இன்னொரு எக்ஸ்பெரிமெண்ட். ஓகே, புரியுதா?
எஸ் சார்.
And then in fact ஒரு மாலிக்யூல் 2 மாலிக்யூல நீ மைக்ரோஸ்கோப் கண்ணுல கூட பார்க்க முடியாது. மைக்ரோஸ்கோப்ல வெச்சு பார்த்தா அது அமீபா கிமீபா பாக்டீரியா அதெல்லாம் தெரியும். ஓகே, பட் அதுலயே எவ்வளவு மாலிக்யூல்ஸ் இருக்கு. ஓகே,
எஸ் சார்.
சோ எல்லாமே வந்து நம்ம நேக்கட் கண்ணால பார்க்கவே முடியாது. ஆனா we can sense all of them. புரியுதா?
எஸ் சார்.
Okay, cool. இப்போ okay, I will move on to the next slide. Okay, so in the ISM ல வந்து there is almost nothing, right? அங்க கூட கெமிக்கல் ரியாக்ஷன் நடக்கும். பட் they like they happen very slowly. இத பத்தி நம்ம நிறைய டீடைல்ஸ் பத்தி கவலைப்பட வேண்டாம். ஓகே, இந்த ஸ்லைட நீங்க ஸ்கிப் பண்ணலாம். பட் the point is அங்க வந்து gas molecules நடுவுல கூட, okay, right, some very interesting chemical reactions can happen there. Okay, and அந்த chemical reaction நால தான் வந்து இன்னும் நிறைய molecules ஃபார்ம் ஆகும். and அந்த molecules தான் வந்து okay இதெல்லாம் கேப்பீங்க. ஓகே, அங்க மாலிக்யூல் ஃபார்ம் ஆனா என்ன, ஃபார்ம் ஆகலனா என்ன. திஸ் இஸ் ஜஸ்ட் ஸ்லைட். ஓகே, அங்க எப்படி நடக்குது அப்படின்னு இது கொஞ்சம் உங்களுக்கு ஹையர் கிளாஸ் வந்தா புரியும். அதனால நான் இந்த ஸ்லைட ஸ்கிப் பண்ணுவேன். ஓகே, 11th class சொன்னீங்கன்னா இது உங்களுக்கு நான் ஸ்லைட்டா எப்படி நடக்குதுன்னு சொல்ல I may tell you some things. Okay, but forget it for now. Okay, இது I'll skip. Okay, but the point is அங்க வந்து ஜாலியா நிறைய ரியாக்ஷன் நடக்கும். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் நோ பக்கத்துல வந்து வாட்டர் போட்டோம் அப்படின்னாக்க வந்து என்னன்னா என்னப்பா, நைட்ரிக் ஆக்சைடு கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா? It is the laughing gas.
Sir, yes sir.
Yes sir.
Exactly. Okay, right. So என்ன பக்கத்துல வாட்டர் போட்டோம்னா என்ன வந்து கிளி கிளி கிளின்னு சிரிச்சுக்கிட்டே வந்து ரியாக்ட் பண்ணும். Okay, right. So all these things can happen, but don't worry about the details because it is too நீங்க கொஞ்சம் பெரிய கிளாஸஸ் வந்தோடனே உங்களுக்கு இது உதவும். Okay, but 11th class 12th class பசங்க இருப்பாங்க அப்படின்னு அவங்களுக்காக இதை போட்டேன். Okay, but don't worry about this for now. Okay, but நீங்க இதெல்லாம் கேட்பீங்க. ஓகேப்பா, வாட் நான்சென்ஸ், எனக்கு இங்க உலகத்திலே இவ்வளவு பிரச்சனை இருக்கு, நாளைக்கு நான் ஸ்கூலுக்கு போனோமா போக வேண்டாமா அவ்வளவு பிரச்சனை இருக்கு, நான் வந்து ஸ்கூலுக்கு வந்து யூனிஃபார்ம்லாம் போட்டுக்கணும், வீட்டுல இருந்தா ஜாலியா நான் வந்து எனக்கு பிடிச்ச ட்ரெஸ்ல இருப்பேன். ஓகே, ஸ்கூலுக்கு யூனிஃபார்ம் போட்டுட்டு போனோம், ஸ்கூலுக்கு போனா ஹோம்ஒர்க் எல்லாம் கொடுப்பாங்க, படுத்துவாங்க. ஓகே ரைட், எனக்கு இவ்வளவு ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு வாழ்க்கையில. இது நடுவில் நான் வந்து எதுக்கு வந்து ஸ்டார்ல மாலிக்யூல் இருந்தா என்ன, மாலிக்யூல் இல்லைன்னா எனக்கு என்ன வந்தது? That's a fair question to ask, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
என்னம்மா?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. அதேதான். நான் எதுக்கு இதெல்லாம் தெரியும், எனக்கு தெரியும், நான் இது தெரியும், எனக்கு என்ன என் வாழ்க்கை என்ன இது உதவ போகுது, வாட் இஸ் திஸ், எனக்கு வந்து இப்போ ஐபிஎல் ஆக்ஷன் என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு பார்க்கணும், எனக்கு அதான் முக்கியம். ஓகே ரைட், நம்ம அப்படிதானே யோசிப்போம், ரைட்டா?
Yes, sir.
But why do we care about this? We care about all of this for the simple reason that, okay, see, நானும் வந்து origin of life அப்படின்ற ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் இருந்தது அப்படின்னாக்க, ஓகே, உங்களுக்கும் தெரியாது எனக்கும் தெரியாது. ஓகே, I mean, scientifically speaking, of course, different religions, come up with different theories. Okay, that's a belief. நம்ம நம்பிட்டு போலாம். Okay, நம்ம அது okay. But scientifically, we never know how the origin of life exactly happened. Okay, ஆனா we try to come up with all possible scenarios. Okay, right? Like geology, biology, chemistry, physics, computer simulations எல்லாம் சேர்த்து வச்சு, okay, right? நம்ம என்னென்ன நடந்திருக்கு அப்படின்றது கணிக்கலாம். அது கணிச்சு நம்ம என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? We can try to do very cool things, such as like, okay, இப்போ earthல வாழறோம், so marsல வாழணும்னா என்ன பண்ணணும், so like plutoல வாழ முடியுமா? Okay, I mean just hypothetically saying. Okay, so இந்த மாதிரி பல விஷயங்கள் நம்ம வந்து யோசிக்கலாம். புரியுதா? Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
அதனால we care about all these questions. Okay, right? Because these molecules give us a hint about the possible origin of life. Okay, right? Okay, so molecules of life na என்னென்ன? நிறைய molecules. Okay, glucose கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா? glucose, formaldehyde, இந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா உங்க லெசன்ல இருந்து? Okay, so இதெல்லாம் வந்து molecules of life. Okay, சும்மா உங்களுக்கு ஒரு ஸ்லைட் வந்து போட்டு காட்டுறேன். Okay, இது முக்கியம் இல்ல அவ்வளவா, ஜஸ்ட் உங்களுக்கு போட்டு காட்டுறது அப்படிதான். Okay, so இந்த குட்டி குட்டி molecule இருக்குல்ல, இந்த molecule they combine together to form DNA, RNA, blah blah blah. And DNA, RNA, etc., reorganize in certain ways to give rise to us. Asna yaru number, like Arun, Amrit, okay, Stephen, Raghu, etc., etc. So நம்ம எல்லாரும் வந்து like அந்த molecules உண்டு பண்ணும். Okay, so then beauty is the following. இந்த குட்டி குட்டி molecule okay, they may have actually been formed in the interstellar medium. அங்க எங்கயாவது ஃபார்ம் ஆயிருக்கும், அது அங்கேருந்து எர்த்துக்கு வந்திருக்கும், இல்லைன்னா அது வந்து எர்த்லயே ஃபார்ம் ஆயிருக்கும். நமக்கு தெரியாதுல்ல எப்படி நடக்குது அப்படின்னு, ரைட்? Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So இந்த ரெண்டு பாசிபிலிட்டி தான் வந்து ரிசர்ச் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம் நம்ம. Okay, right? We are all like இது ஸ்லைட் விட்டுடுங்க. Okay, but starting from 1950s themselves, okay, right? There were some experiments which were done to see how life originated. Okay, and hi Satyanarayana. Okay, நல்லா அனலைட் பண்ணுவே நீ. Okay, right? Yeah. Okay, so நம்ம வந்து அழகா வந்து like we can try to design experiments, forget the details, but I want you to understand that in Germany we can study so much about like even the possible origin of life. Okay, right? So there are different conditions put, etc., etc. So இங்க ரெண்டு தாத்தாக்கள் இருக்காங்கல்ல, பாக்குறீங்களாமா? மில்லர் அண்ட் யூரி அப்படின்னு ரெண்டு பேர், ரைட்?
Stanley L. Miller and Art.
அதேதான் அவங்க ஸ்பெல்லிங் என்னப்பா, அவங்க பேர் என்ன வந்து போட்டோம். ஓகே, ரைட்? சோ அவங்க தான் இந்த எக்ஸ்பெரிமெண்ட் முதல்ல பண்ணாங்க. ஓகே, கிளியர்? நான் எதுக்கு அவங்க படத்தை போட்டிருக்கேன் அப்படின்னா வந்து சயின்ஸ்ல வந்து யார் வேலையை பண்ணாங்களோ அவங்களுக்கு கிரெடிட் கொடுக்கிறது முக்கியம். ஓகே, சோ இவங்க தான் முதல்ல இந்த வேலையை பண்ணாங்கன்றதுக்காக வந்து நீங்க படத்தை போட்டு சொல்லணும். ஓகே, அது கிளியர்?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Okay, so பாரு, சோ இந்த origin of life பத்தி வந்து நிறைய இருக்கு. ஓகே, எங்கெங்கயோ அது வந்து ஸ்டார்ல என்ன நடந்திருக்கு, ஸ்டார்ல இருந்து ஏதாவது காமெட் வந்து நமக்கு என்ன கெமிக்கல் தூக்கி வந்து உலகத்துல வந்து போட்டுருக்கு, இல்லைன்னா உலகத்திலே நடந்ததா, எட்ஸெட்ரா எட்ஸெட்ரா. So there are thousands and thousands and thousands of questions to answer in this context. Okay, right? நமக்கு எல்லாமே தெரியுமா? Definitely not. Even though like a lot of research has been done, இன்னும் நிறைய பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கலாம் இதுல ஜாலியா. Okay, இதுல ஜாலியா ரிசர்ச் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கலாம். Okay, right? So while we work on this, okay, I just want to give you a glimpse that நான் கூட வந்து this is my PhD student, Mr. Tripathi. Okay, right? And along with this is my postdoc. Okay, he's now in Australia. Okay, பாருங்க. Okay, science பண்ணாரு. Okay, right? he was in Tirupati like until 2 years ago. Now he's in Australia. Okay, right? So he was science பண்ணிட்டு வந்து he has gone on to Australia for a postdoc, and இவங்கெல்லாம் சேர்ந்து along with me we are doing some research on how like these molecules may have been formed. இதெல்லாம் என்ன பண்ணணும், எப்படி நடந்திருக்கு, என்ன நடந்திருக்கு, etc. Okay, just to give you a glimpse of my own research area. Okay, so right pa கிட்டத்தட்ட 1 மணி நேரம் ஆயாச்சு. Okay, right? என்னதான் பண்ணிக்கோ, இத்தனை நான் ஏதோ கேள்வி கேட்டா நீங்க ஏதோ பேசுறீங்க, இது எல்லாத்துக்கும் மூலமா. Okay, what is the take home message? Take home message na என்ன, கடைசியில இந்த டாக்ல நீங்க எல்லாமே மறந்து போயாச்சு அப்படின்னா வந்து என்னதான் ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணும் அப்படின்னா, first point, chemicals are not bad. Chemicals are everywhere. Okay, it is just that how we deal with the chemicals, how we manipulate them, that explains like whether something is good or bad. Okay, so நம்மளும் chemicals தான், அதை ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணும். Okay, அது முதல் பாயிண்ட். ரெண்டாவது, see நம்ம ஸ்பேஸ் அப்படினாலே வந்து you only think like okay, space na physics na astrophysics அப்படின்னு இல்ல ஸ்பேஸ் na astrochemistry நிறைய இருக்கு, நிறைய எக்கச்சக்கமா இருக்கு. Okay, astrochemistry and astrobiology also. Okay, so இதெல்லாம் நிறைய கத்துக்கிறதுக்கு இருக்கு இத பத்தி. Okay, and then the life அப்படின்ற விஷயம் வந்து it came from big molecules which themselves formed from very small molecules. So இங்க நிறைய science to explore இருக்கு. Okay, so the point is, and the next point is origin of life அப்படின்றது வந்து it is not easy. அதுல வந்து நிறைய research வந்து பண்ணணும். Okay, so it is a very exciting and the challenging area. See, it is not just easy. Okay, ஏன்னா இந்த questionலாம் ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான கேள்விகள், but we all together like the scientific community, we are trying to answer some of these questions. Okay, and கடைசி point, okay, இதெல்லாம் பண்ணது யாரு? Who is doing all this research? Not robots, right? We the human beings are doing it. Okay, so நம்ம human beings க்கு வந்து okay, right, உங்களை மாதிரி பசங்க especially, you have tremendous potential to work on these things, and இதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணணும்? Definitely hard work பண்ணணும். Okay, you should be sincere and you must have determination. Okay, கஷ்டமான ப்ராப்ளமா இருந்தாலும் நான் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்ற அந்த டிட்டர்மினேஷன் வேணும். And you must always be careful. See, science தான் வந்து எல்லாரும் silly mistake பண்ணுவோம், but silly mistakeல இருந்து கத்துண்டு eventually careful-ஆ இருக்கறது தான் carefulness. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
that's it. Okay,
yes.
so with this, like I end this talk. Okay, thank you very much, to the organizers and you all also for patiently listening to me. Okay, so if you have any more questions, I'll take it up. Okay, I will now stop sharing my screen. Okay, and if you have questions, please let me know, and let me also switch on my video.
என்ன டாக்டர்?
I have one doubt alone. Sir, astrochemistry, it involves the study of Big Bang also, no?
Yes. அதாவது என்னமா, so Big Bang நடந்த உடனே வந்து like என்ன molecules ஃபார்ம் ஆயிருக்கும், எப்படி ஃபார்ம் ஆயிருக்கும், etc. Okay, so இதெல்லாம் வந்து astrochemistry ஈஸியா படிக்கலாம். Okay, yeah.
In the future, yes.
In the future, okay, good question. Okay, so in the future அப்படினா வந்து for example, நம்ம research பண்ணும்போது definitely like you'll be well funded. Okay, right? And then like if you get a faculty position and if you do research, you also get a lot of money to do this. Okay, right? So life will நல்லா settle ஆகலாம், at the same time workum பண்ணலாம். Okay, clear? நமக்கு பிடிச்ச problem, important problem பண்ணலாம், and at the same time you'll be getting also a significant amount of money, of course, right?
So we will also go like hostel. You show some students, no sir? Like that.
Exactly. Australia போலாம். See, that is one beautiful thing about science. Okay, science, நீங்க science படிச்சீங்க அப்படின்னா வந்து நீங்க வந்து உங்க காசுல ஒண்ணு தான் வெளிநாட்டு போகணும் அவசியம் இல்லை. Okay, you will be sponsored. Somebody may even sponsor for you to send you abroad. Okay, புரியுதா?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so then the future is bright. Okay, see, the point is நமக்கு எதெல்லாம் தெரியலையோ, okay, right, நம்ம அதெல்லாம் work பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம் அப்படின்னா நம்ம future is always bright. I must also add one more thing. Okay, as someone who's been practicing science, right, science is of course an important aspect. Okay, but science is not the be all and end all in the world. Okay, நீங்க எந்த field வேணா எடுத்துக்கோங்க. Okay, right, it can be humanities, it can be arts, it can be engineering, it can be anything. Okay, right, there is enough space for us under the sun. உங்களுக்கு என்னெல்லாம் பிடிச்சிருக்கோ அதெல்லாம் பண்ணலாம். ஆனா பிடிச்சிருக்குன்ற ஒரே காரணத்தால you need not be successful in something. Notice that. உங்களுக்கு எது பிடிச்சாலும் பிடிக்கலனாலும் வந்து உட்கார்ந்து சில விஷயங்கள்ல you must be sincerely working hard. Okay, so சின்சியரா உங்களுக்கு எதுல நீங்க ஹார்ட் ஒர்க் பண்றீங்களோ, in all of that there is a great chance that you will only succeed. Okay, புரியுதா? And science is, of course, a very interesting area. Science, then advantage, see, science teaches you so many things. First of all, it makes you very humble, in my opinion. Okay, right? எப்படி humble அப்படின்னாக்க வந்து நமக்கு எவ்வளவு தெரிஞ்சாலும் வந்து நமக்கு இன்னும் தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்கு நிறைய விஷயம் இருக்கு. அது ஒண்ணு. ரெண்டாவது, நீ எவ்வளவு நல்லா பண்ணாலும் உங்களோட பெட்டரா பண்ணவங்களும் நிறைய பேர் இருப்பாங்க. அது ரெண்டாவது. மூணாவது, see, you come from some background, right? You come from, let's say, like for example, I grew up in some place. You meet somebody else who may be thinking from a completely different perspective. But then, like நீங்க எவ்வளவுதான் different யோசிச்சாலும், you may unite on the scientific front. Okay, right? So it thinks about this. It brings about the idea of unity in diversity, which is a very important concept for humanity. Okay, right? So science has நிறைய like benefits இருக்கு. Okay, are we clear?
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, any more questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, cool. So best wishes to all of you in your career. Okay, right? And everything else. Enjoy. So do you all actually look forward to going back to school, or like ayyo bovedi school pono அப்படின்றீங்களா இல்ல நான் ஜாலியா வீட்ல இருந்தேன்
Back to school, sir.
Back to school.
Back to school, sir.
back to school, but உண்மையை சொல்லுங்க பிடிச்சிருக்கா இல்லையா?
Sir, இல்ல sir.
பிடிச்சிருக்கு சார்.
அதான் என்னமா சொல்லுங்க, கரெக்ட் தான், அதேதான், exactly.
The forest this year, no school, sir.
Exactly, yeah. So see, it's a mixed bag, right? But I'll tell you one thing, okay, one last thing. Life itself will be like that, okay, right? School போனா நம்ம ஜாலியா வந்து ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் பார்க்கலாம், ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் கூட எல்லாம் பழகலாம், விளையாடலாம், எல்லாம் பண்ணலாம். That is the advantage. Disadvantage என்ன, டீச்சர்ஸையும் பார்க்கணும், okay, right? So there are all these things, okay? So life will be mostly like this only. All right. So best wishes to you all. Okay. So with this,
Sir,
yeah.
excuse me, Dr. Raghu.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm the HOD of Zoology, Krishnabal College here, Dr. Edili.
No, ma'am. Hello, yeah.
At the age of 60, you made me to feel sitting in the 11th standard and 8th standard. Very nice, inspiring lecture.
Oh, thanks a lot, ma'am. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you
Sir,
very much.
this is the way the teachers have to teach science to the school children.
My pleasure, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Very kind words, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot. My
thank
pleasure. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So.
Sir, I really enjoyed your session, sir.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. It is cool. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, how to pronounce your name? Is it like Ammu Aingi, or like are you Arun?
No, Amrut, sir, my name. My
Amrut,
name.
okay.
First
Cool,
name
cool.
is Aingine.
Oh, great. Okay. Enjoy. Okay. Best wishes. Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. So if there are the organizers, like Dr. Shashikala, like, or anybody, Dr. Lavanya, anyone, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Yeah. So shall we end the session then?
Yes, sir.
That's fine.
Definitely. Thank you very much for such an interesting session, sir.
Oh, my pleasure, ma'am. My pleasure. Okay.
I
Absolutely.
should definitely mention, like our HOD rightly said, we faculty enjoyed this interaction between you and the children very much.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. My pleasure. Okay. My pleasure. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Absolutely.
So we look forward to hear more from you. Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot. My
Thank you,
pleasure,
sir.
ma'am. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Have a good day. Okay.
You too, sir. Thank you.
My pleasure. All right, kids. Okay. So with this, like I take your permission to leave. Okay. Right. You may all switch on your video and say bye for a minute if you're okay with it.
Students can switch on your videos and say bye to sir.
All right. Hi, Stephen.
Bye, sir.
Hi, Arun.
Bye,
Hi.
sir.
Yeah. Hello, Haripriya.
Bye, sir.
Yeah, I'll see. Like whoever I can see. Okay. Hello, Sandra. Hello, Kavya Raj. Yeah. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
All right, folks. Bye. So,
Bye,
with the
sir.
permission, yeah. I'll leave this meeting. Okay. Bye. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day too, sir.
You too. Bye. Okay. I'll leave. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Thank you very much. Dear students, some informations. The links for the competitions are posted to the respective teachers of your school. Quiz competition link will be open until 10 p.m. tonight, and after that it will be closed. All the other three competitions, logo making, poster making, and idea innovation contest, are open until 15th February 2022. The entries will be evaluated by the respective departments, and winners will be intimated to you through your teachers. We are moving on to the last session, the valedictory session, and I invite Dr. G. Sashikala, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, PSGR Krishnamal College for Women, to invite, welcome, and introduce Dr. R. Rajendran, Associate Professor, Department of Microbiology, PSG College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore. Over to you, ma'am.
Evening to one and all present here. I thank each and every one of you for being here with us today. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to PSGR Krishnamal College for Women for the valedictory address. Yes, we are proud to host this event today in our institution. I would like to express my sincere thanks to the DBT Stars College scheme who generously helped us make this event a grand success. In today's gathering, I would like to thank the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India to be a part of this association. I'm extremely delighted to extend a special welcome to our guest of honor, Dr. R. Rajendran, a former principal and the Associate Professor of Microbiology, PSG College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore, to share his knowledge for this one-day virtual interaction program, Science Adda, under the aegis of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsava lecture organized by the science departments of my own institute. I also wish to express my gratitude to the DBT, Government of India, for the financial support for this one-day interaction program, Science Adda, for its role in molding and favoring the young minds. Once again, I am deeply honored to welcome the deans of various capacities, faculty members of our institutions and other institutions, and the entire student community. Professor R. Rajendran obtained his Master of Science degree in microbiology from PSG College of Arts and Science. He was the first rank holder and the gold medalist and had received cash award for his dissertation under post-graduation from Mariammal Mahalingam Trust, Pollachi. And he completed his PhD in textile biotechnology from Pasteur Institute of India, Kunnur, and a Doctor of Science from Bharatiya University. He had received many prestigious awards, scholarships, and grant and aids from various funding agencies at national and international level for his doctoral, postdoctoral fellowships, for paper presentations. He has been awarded with many awards, Best Thesis Awards for Guiding Student Project, Best Research Papers Award in Microbial Biotechnology for both the oral and the poster presentations, Academic Excellence Award, Eminent Scientist Award, DBT Crest Award for Overseas Associateship, Outstanding Teacher Award, prestigious lifetime memberships, Best Citizen Award, Research Award, Best Research Supervisor Award, Fulbright Nehru International Administrators, Seminar Fellowships under the United States India Educational Foundation, Tamil Nadu Scientist Award under Environmental Science discipline by the Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology. He is also serving as expert member in various institutions and government funding agencies. He has completed more than 15 funded projects which are funded by various funding agencies such as Department of Biotechnology, Department of Science and Technology, UGC, Fulbright Nehru International Administrators Seminar Fellowship under the USAFE, Coconut Development Board, Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India, DRDO, Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology, ICMR, etc. He generated one patent, acting as advisory board member and editorial board member for various journals. Under his scholarly guidance, more than 25 PhD students have been so far graduated and 40 MPhil students completed. To his credit, he has published more than 200 scientific articles in both the national and the international journals, 203 in proceedings, authored more than 25 books, and published in 10 leading newspapers. We are so excited to have you, sir. Thank you for joining us here today. We welcome you to deliver your interaction, sir.
Thank you, madam. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. 1 minute, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you for your nice words of introduction. And the most respected, the administrators, the secretary, the principal, the organizing secretaries, and the organizing committee of this program, and the my dear young budding scientists who have all assembled virtually for this program from the schools, my dear students, the other heads of the departments, the faculty members, a very good evening to you all. First of all, before I start with my valedictory address, I think you should have all come to the fag end of this program. And right from the morning, you should have all had a lot of brainstorming and brain warming, and then brain boggling type of your sessions where you should have had a lot of interactions and a lot of new things that you should have learned in science, and by which you know that you will all be in a state where you will all be motivated and inspired, and ultimately everybody will be interested in taking up science as your career. I'm 100% sure. So you know that this is being held under the aegis of the Star College scheme. And this is a scheme, as the young children, you should know that this is a scheme which is being introduced by the Government of India through the Department of Biotechnology. And the main objective of this scheme is to attract more number of the young students, catch them young, and make them to pursue science. So pursuing science is something which you should develop a passion. And there are a lot of avenues that is available in the case of your science. And you have a wonderful type of your choices that is available for you to take up the science as a career. So what I'm going to do today is that I'm going to just give you a glimpse, maybe for half an hour, about what are the basic type of your essential skills that you should possess. What are the prerequisites that you have to possess in order to take up the science as a career? Because you know that everybody, even the earlier speaker was mentioning very clearly that if you want to take up science, it is not that you do commerce or if you do humanities or if you do management or any other type of your arts or liberal arts or any other subject, but the bent of mind in science, the awareness about the science, and the type of your nuances that is present in the case of your science is said to be something very essential for everybody to live in this world. Without the basic science ideas and the basic science type of your skills and basic science knowledge and the awareness, without which the survival of an individual in this world becomes a big question mark. So the main objective of this program today itself is to create an awareness, the Science Adda, where you can find that we wanted to create more number of science, more number of scientists, and more number of children who get inspired and who get motivated to take up science as a career. So what I'm going to do today is giving you a very small glimpse about what are the basic type of your skills that you have to develop in the case of your science, and what will help you to enrich yourself and to give you a value addition so that you'll all be able to do wonderfully well in the journey of your science career as such. So I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So okay. I hope the screen is very clear now. See, why should we need the skills in the case of your science? See, science is not the one which you learn only theoretically. And science is not the one where you know that you're going to just mug something and then go and vomit that in the case of your paper and then get marks and then come out with the type of your career that you want to take it up. Science is something where that you need more of practical inputs to be present in that. So this is being put up into the broad area, which we call it as the scientific skills. There are different types of your skills that a person should possess. A person should have it as a prerequisite in order to have the science or to pursue science in the case of your future as such. See, science is said to be a process. Everything, that whatever be in the case of our environment, even I think you might be sitting in a desk or a bench, or you might be looking into that of your screen, or you might be having the people around you, where you can find that it might be living or non-living, or it might be anything and everything that is present in the case of this world, that it is all made up of chemicals. That's what the earlier speaker was also insisting, that the type of the components that is present in the case of this environment, everything has got different type of the chemical process to be present in there. So whatever the type of your happenings, it's all said to be in the case of your science. So you need to have the basic scientific awareness, or the basic scientific type of the skill and the knowledge that is bare minimum needed for every individual to survive as such. So that what the skills will normally be. The scientific skills are nothing but which will enable the students to formulate their questions and to find out the answers systematically. So that whenever you sit in the class, you students, you young budding scientists, that what you have to do is that you should always keep pondering in your mind, saying that why, what, when, how, all these questions should always arise in your mind. It is not that you just listen into what the teacher says and then do the practical in the case of your class and then show that this is being done. But why do you do that? What is the purpose behind that? When do you do it? How do you do it? What do you do it? All these type of your questions should keep always boggling your mind. And only when such type of your questions arise in your mind, you can find that you will always have an eagerness to find out the answers. You will have the eagerness to find out what exactly is needed for that. And when you're able to get the answers for it, you become a complete scientist. You become a complete person who has got the scientific knowledge to be present in that. So in order to pursue science, what you have to do is that this type of your questioning mind should always be present in them. And whenever you get the answers also, record them systematically. Put them into that of your data in your mind. And then whenever you come across such type of things earlier in the case of your life, whatever it might be, what you have to do is that you should keep referring, you should keep comparing, and you should keep interpreting them. And then you should be able to come out with the different type of your knowledge base, which makes you to perfectly make that to be as a scientist. So that all the type of your discoveries, all the type of your inventions, all the type of your innovations that has taken place in this world, only when the people they had a questioning mind, that they were able to come out with different type of your discoveries, innovations, and inventions, and all such type of things. So we enjoy a lot of technology now. So even now, that it has become a day where we all sit together virtually and then we are able to interact. We are able to share our ideas. How is this possible? This is because of the developments that have taken place in the case of your technology. And this Development in the case of a technology is always being paralleled with the knowledge that we develop and the questions that arise. And you all know that there is a famous saying as necessity. As can you, any one of the students finish it? Necessity dash dash dash. Any student?
Sorry.
Esma?
Is the mother of invention.
Good. Necessity is the mother of invention. So when there is a necessity, when there is a need, and when there is a question that arises in your mind, you know that there is an invention that comes, or there is a discovery that comes, which makes you all to get into that particular technology. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just give you a very basic idea about what are all the basic skills and what are the different type of your advanced skills that is needed for you to flourish yourself as one of the best scientists or in order to pursue science in the case of your career. So the basic skills which include observing, classifying, communicating, measuring, estimating, predicting, and inferring. I'm repeating, in the case of your basic skills, it involves observing, classifying, communicating, measuring, estimating, predicting, and inferring. And in the case of your advanced skills, you know that the identifying and controlling the variables, hypothesizing, interpreting the data, and defining operationally, experimenting them in the case of your laboratory from small scale, large scale, and all those different types of scales you do it, and then you put them into a larger production plant. Then coming to the models, constructing models. And you know that this is said to be the one which the school students very often they do it, a working model or a still model. They try to create and then to replicate the type of a process that is normally present in them. So now let us see about what are all the basic concepts that is present in the case of these skills. And now students, what you can do that the children can keep comparing because you know that whenever you take up science, what type of your career that you want to take it up, what you have to do is that you should go for a self-realization. Okay. And then what you have to do is that a self type of your conceptualization, where you should understand that whether you have these qualities, where I'm eligible, where I'm 100% I can fit into science, and whether my qualities that I have, what are all the positive type of your qualities that I have in me, and what sort of these positive qualities, how it will make me to fit into the science as one of the career or science as my future. Okay, so let us now go into the basic details and then the advanced details about these type of your skills. See, the first type of your skill that everybody needs, everybody they need is observing. Okay, observance or observing or observe is said to be the first type of your basic skill that everybody should have. Whatever you see, either it might be in the case of your nature, or it might be in the frame of your the artificial items, or it might be in the case of your household, or it might be in the case of your environment. Whatever the type of your observance that you do, try to interpret immediately and then observe it very keenly. That's what they say, that the first quality in every children should be a keen observer. Okay. And in order to become a keen observer, what you have to do is that you should try to develop the different types of your senses that is needed. So you know that the senses are, we observe the objects through that of your sight, your eye, your nose, your skin, your taste, and your hearing. Okay, your ears. God has given us all these type of your gadgets for what? For us to sense what is exactly happening in the case of this surrounding, and what is exactly happening in the case of this environment, and what is exactly happening in the case of this universe. Okay, so this fundamental type of your quality that you need is that observing. I can give you an example. See, there is also a test where you know that they will be having a tray, and in that tray they will have different type of your articles to be jumbled together and then put into that particular tray. And they will give you maybe a few minutes time, 3 minutes time, or 5 minutes time. You should try to observe what it is, and immediately they will close it and they will give you a paper and ask to write down how many type of your articles you are able to observe from it. Okay, so this is said to be a simple test where you will be able to very clearly immediately identify what is the observance capacity of a person. And some of the people, you know that very clearly, even if some 40 articles are present in that, they'll be able to replicate it, and they'll be able to write all the 40 articles, small articles which have been kept together in a jumbled form in a tray as such. And some of the people will be able to remember only 10. Some of them will be able to remember 15. So this varies from one person to another person. Why? Because you know that by nature, by God's creation, this capacity of observance is said to be present, or it's said to be varies from one individual to another individual. So in order to pursue science, I'm sure that you should all be having the best type of the observance skill, so that you're able to observe it and replicate it in the case of our career of science. And all these which we have been talking about is said to be the qualitative one. This is identifying and naming the properties of an object, such as its shape. You should try to remember what is its shape, what is its color, what is its size, what is its texture, and what type of a smell that comes out, or what is the odor or the aroma that comes out from that, and what type of a sound that is being present. And I think you all know that in the earlier period, even now there are people who are called as the Ashtavadanis. Okay, and there is also people who will be able to remember many things and observe many things within a very short period of time. And there will be a lot of people who come and demonstrate about such type of your skills. Has anyone heard about this? Or have you met any person or any program that is being conducted where you are being tested about this observance? Yes? Any student? Have you come across such? Have you come across anything called like this observance, where you've been given the events that are happening together at the same time, and then people observing it and then trying to recollect and say what is happening?
Yes, when I was studying in class 6, my ma'am gave an assignment in which they said to observe the growth of green plants.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you know that this is said to be one of the very basic type of your quality that is needed. And it is also said to be in terms of quantitative. See, this involves a measurement. Say, suppose you walk somewhere, okay? And finally, at the end of one place, suppose if somebody stops you and asks you how many kilometers you could have walked. Maybe if you don't have any gadget, you should be in a judgment saying that maybe around 1 kilometer I was able to walk for the past few minutes. So this is said to be something. This is also an observance. Or how many trees you were able to see on your way when you were walking. This is another example of the measurement where you can find that how much type of your numbers you'll be able to recollect, and how much type of your values which you'll be able to add to it. Okay. Then coming to the third one, that is in observance, it is also said to be in change. It could be the result of crushing, pounding, burning, cutting, decaying, all these type of your processes, which is all said to be changing the biological nature or changing the chemical nature of one compound to another compound. You can find that these changes also how it is taking place. So you know that suppose if you have a garden in your house and you might be having lots of rose plants in your house, you know that people enjoy every day coming and seeing that how these protein is coming out. Okay, how the buds are being there and how the growth is taking place, how the rose buds comes out, and they'll be enjoying the day where you know that the complete bud, it is developing and then it is growing, and then finally when it blooms, you know that the type of happiness that you get in your mind, or the type of happiness that you're able to enjoy, is said to be something very, very innumerable and phenomenal. Okay, so how is this possible? This is because you have an interest in this observing capacity. So for a science, the first capacity that we should all try to develop is this observing capacity. So for this, as I said to you, it involves the sight, the hearing, the touch, the taste, and the smell. All this has to join together in order to increase your skill in the case of your observance. And as I said to you know that you should also have a keen observation. I think in most of the in Dinamalar and dailies and many of the other magazines, you can find that there will be the type of your puzzles like this, saying that what is the difference between these two pictures? Name the 5 differences. Name the 9 differences that is present in that. Name the
Sir, in the
6
first
differences.
picture, the cat shows its tail, sir, but in second picture, the tail is not showing, sir.
Natural.
And
Yeah.
serving 6 and 9. 6 and 9, and we can see 2 yellow birds in the
Fine.
In the according in my perspective, in the left side bird there are two white colors. Meanwhile, in my right perspective, the bird which is towards the left side does not have any white
And
color.
in the left picture, like one flower is missing.
And
Wonderful.
the birds in the
Birds place change.
Yeah, yeah. See, this is what we call it as the keen observation. Okay, how do you observe it? So for a science, okay, for a scientist who wanted to pursue science, you know that this type of your observation within a quick time, within a short period, what you have to do is that you should be able to observe the differences that is present in there. Okay, so this is very important. Now coming to the second type of your skill is said to be the classifying. What do you mean by this classification? It is said to be an overwhelming the number of things that is being present in that. See, suppose you have been put into a forest. Immediately, when you are being asked to say what are all the living things that is present in that, what are the non-living things that is present in that, what are the big animals that is present in that, and then what are the type of your the trees, shrubs, and then plants, and then or the other type of your plants that is being present. Immediately, what you have to do is that based on your observation, you should be able to classify and say that this is this big tree is there, this shrub is there, this type of your the plant is there, this is said to be a climber, this is said to be a creeper. Like that, you should be able to classify and then put all the things together, and then you should be able to come out with your idea that is present. So this is said to be the capacity of classifying. See, the mind, in the case of your science, if you are able to immediately put them into an orderly fashion, if you're able to put them into an orderly condition, then that sort of your classification is needed, putting them into an order. So order can be obtained by observing. For that, again, you know that the first criteria of observance which comes for your classification. Only when you're able to observe keenly, you'll be able to come out with your classification. So observing the similarities, observing the differences, and then observing the interrelationships. And I was very happy that you children, you were able to very immediately respond, and then you were able to come out with the differences that is present in the picture. This is because you are able to find out what is the similarity and what is the differences within a very quick period of time. So this is how the classifying type of your thing is very, very important. For example, you can find that suppose if you have different type of your rocks, which is said to be the one which is in the big size and which is in a medium size and which is in a round shape, which is in a rectangle shape, which is in a hexagonal shape, like that you should be able to put them into an order. This is also one of the skills that is very basically needed. Okay. And this is not only in the case of your science, even in your house, in your household. You know that whenever you have your own personal things that is being arranged, you know that some of them they have a habit that they keep their room very shabby. It will not be organized, it will not be classified, and then whatever the things which has to be present in that particular places, you can find that it will not be there at all. But some of the children by nature, okay, you know that they have an intuition that is being present in them where they keep their things very orderly, very classified, very neat. And once when you enter into their room, you can find that it will be so very impressive that they have the capacity of this classification. So here there's a picture which shows you that how in a room, in your bed, or in the case of your wardrobe, or in the case of your cupboard, how are you arranging the things in a very classified form and then keeping it. And this is another very important type of your quality that is needed for a person who is going to pursue the science research. So here you can find that how the rounded, poorly sorted structure is being present. Second one, how the well sorted round ones have been put up, and then the angular ones have been put up as well sorted ones, and then the poorly sorted ones where you can find that all the mix has been taking place in them. So what you have to do is that not only in the case of your house, even in your workplace, or in the case of your school, or in the case of your college, wherever you're there, you know that you should always be very orderly, you should be disciplined. This is also called as the personal discipline in the case of your behavior, where you're trying to classify and then you're going to arrange them and then you're going to do it. And this is also in terms of time. You know that you should always try to maintain a routine. Morning, at what time you're getting up, and then what you're at what time you're doing your daily routine, and then daily course, and how you're getting ready for the school, how you're coming, and how much time you're spending for that of your studies, how much time you're spending with your family, how much time you're going to spend with that of your TV. Okay, you should be very, very orderly classified in your type of your day-to-day activities also. Only when you are able to come out with such type of your orderly activity, that is said to be the one which makes you to have a lot of value. It is not that only when you do science. Okay. Even this is said to be a very basic quality that is needed for everybody in the case of their life to have it to be much more disciplined. And I have seen the most successful students are said to be those students who are having this sort of your quality to be present in them. Next is comparing. The another important basic skill that is needed for every type of your people to do science. It is again based upon your observations and based upon your classification, and then discovering what are the differences and then what are the similarities that is being present in them. And immediately you should be able to compare and then come out with what is exactly needed. What is you're able to identify the relationship among the objects and the phenomena that is observed. Say suppose if a tray contains vegetables and another tray which contains the type of your the other articles which have been put into a jumbled form. Then immediately when there is a question that which is the tray which contains all those living substances and then vegetables, and which tray which contains the fruits, and which tray which contains all the other day-to-day use type of your articles, you should be able to compare and then immediately come out with an answer saying that this is this, this is that, and this is there. Okay. And in fact, we had more number of the exercises in this, and maybe for the pause of time, and then you know that I'm just giving you only the basics, and I want every children to practice this and then to come out with the capacity of even going for comparison that is being present in them. Even in your life, what you have to do is that you should keep comparing yourself in terms of your intellectual part, your hard work, your knowledge, your input, and then other things with the others, but not in a negative form. This comparison should be a healthy comparison that you have. When she is able to do it, when the other type of your student is able to come out with a good credential in the case of your mark, why can't I do it? Even I have the capacity, even I have the type of your input to be present in them. So such type of your comparisons, the healthy type of your positive comparisons will make you to develop in the case of your life and then come out with the two good type of your the achievements in the case of your life. So this is one good phenomena that you should have. And another type of your skill that is needed for you is your communicating capacity. This is very, very, very important. Okay. You can find that in the recent times, you should try to speak. Your communication ability should increase. Even now, you know that whenever I ask question or when you have an interaction, you can find that not all students will participate. Only there will be very few students who participate, and most of the students, you know that they just be only the observers. They have some sort of your hindrance. Okay, they have some sort of your hurdles in their mind, and then they do not want to come out in out of their shell, and then they do not want to talk at all, because you know that I'm a person, a professor, and my teaching service is for the past 32 years. I've seen how many number of humpty number of students who are very good, very knowledgeable, very good in the case of a subject, very disciplined, but very timid and they don't talk at all. But such type of students, you know that they don't get success in the case of their future. But I have seen where some of the students who are mediocre in the case of your subject, mediocre in the case of your knowledge, and other things also they are mediocres. But once when they have a good type of your communication, and if they have and said to be an extravagant, and then if they are able to be outspoken, such type of students are able to succeed well in the case of your life as such. So you know that in science, the most important thing that is needed is your communication. You know that most of the people, they try to develop this and then they wanted to come out with it. So my humble request to all the students who have assembled in this program is that I want you all to develop the basic type of your skill which is needed not only in science but in everything in the case of your life, is to go for that if you are developing the communication skills. And in order to have the communication skills, what you have to do, you should have a word power. Okay, you should have a good type of your the capacity to express what is really present in your mind. Some of them will be very intellectuals, very good in the case of your subject, but they cannot explain what they really wanted to convey to your audience. Okay, and even if they are said to be having a medium level in the case of your knowledge, but they'll be good in the case of your communication as such. Okay, so but in the case of your science as such, you know that communication becomes very important because you should keep taking seminars, and then you know that not now, maybe when you finish your college, and then when you go for interviews in group discussions and all those things, they check only their capacity of your communication, how much amount of your the vocabulary that you have, and how you're able to uh, bring out what exactly is present in the case of your mind. That is said to be very important. So describing the change in the case of your biological nature, in the case of your plant, or in other things, and you know that wherever you go, you have to give out a presentation. You know that even if it is a schooling, when any of the teacher asks you, then anybody will be able to take out a seminar, even when you go to your college. Immediately what you have to do is that you have to volunteer. You should say that, Miss, Madam, I will be able to take it. Sir, I'll be able to take this. So that volunteering is the one which makes you to get more and more experiential learning in the case of your communication, and you'll be able to develop it. Okay. So not only in the case of your spoken, but written, and then representation, presentation, work, graphs, and all these, you know that your communication capacity should be there. So to reflect the true nature of the science, ideas must be shared, and for sharing the ideas, you need a good written communication, and also you need a good spoken type of your communication, which is said to be verbal communication, which will be able to reach the people as such. And in the case of your written communication also, I can say very good examples for this. Some of them will be very good in the case of your writing. But what will happen is that they will not have a time management. They will go sit in the examination, and they will keep answering one question for nearly 1 hour, and exactly whatever the points that is needed in that particular question, they will be able to answer. But ultimately, what will happen is that they will be able to answer only 3 questions, part A and part B. They will leave part C and come out. What is the use of that? Anyhow, you're going to be a loser. You might be knowledgeable. You will be good in the case of your written form. So here, what you have to learn is that in what short, a very short period of time, how you're able to present the best that is to be presented. This is what we call it as the written communication skill. Okay. So for this written communication skill, what you have to do is that you should keep writing and writing in a precise form, and whatever the type of your points that is related with that particular question, you have to put it. And even in the case of your science, suppose you have discovered something, and if you want to communicate it to that of your the other people, then you have journals, you have got magazines and all those things. So you should have a good written type of your communication skill, so that you will be able to share this with that of your the other people who are present. So this is a very, very important type of your skill that is being present. And next is your estimating or measuring. This is what which I have been saying you earlier. So you know that this needs the mathematical skill. And I'm 100% sure that most of the students, they will say that I didn't take science because I do not want to learn mathematics. I'm always having an awareness that is an aversion towards that of your mathematics. Okay. So mathematics, you know that it is said to be the king and queen of all subjects. Without basic mathematical skill, or without the basic numbering skills, manipulating skills, okay, quantitative skills, calculating skills, estimating skills, measuring skills, you know that you cannot survive in your life. Okay. So what you have to do is that every day-to-day life, you need this type of your measurement, or you need the estimation to be present in that. For that, you need to have strong the number and capacity, and how to use the numbers, and how to manipulate the cut of your the members as such. And then how you're going to have the measuring capacity. Okay. And how you're going to use the gadgets which have been used in the case of this measuring, like using time and then using the space. So time management, space management, and all such type of your things is the one which makes you to really understand what is the importance of this particular skill. So using a meter scale or a stick to measure the length of a table in the case of a centimeter, that you can very easily do it. But once when you have not used a scale at all, and you do not know what is the type of divisions that is present in the case of your ordinary meter scale, then you will not be able to use that at all. Okay. So for that, they should have an awareness about what type of your gadgets that has been present, and that makes you, because you know that in the case of your science, even when you pursue biology, this is what we have seen. Students, you know that when we ask them to prepare an one normal solution of hydrochloric acid, or one normal solution of an the sodium hydroxide or something like that, You know that they will always be keep saying that how to do it, how to do these calculations, how to put into that of your dilution factor, how if you take 1 gram in 100 ml, what will be the dilution, and how you will be able to take it up. So these type of your basic mathematical estimating and measuring skills are very, very important for you to pursue science as such. So this is ability to count. Very simple. How many number, how many biological or the living forms and non-living forms that is being present in that. Okay. And next, coming to the next skill, which we call it as the predicting. This is the process using the past observation of the data and then putting your scientific knowledge into them and then coming out with that of your an event or the relationship. Okay. This is what we call it as your prediction. Prediction is very important in science. You know that a statement not based on observation is said to be a prediction. And if you just made it just like that, it is said to be a guess. Okay, what you have to do is that you should always have a prediction where you can find that you'll be able to relate the type of your things and forecast the events that is happening in the case of your the normal life as such. So even now, if you talk to your grandmas and grandpas who are said to be maybe semi-literates or literates or something like that, you know that they'll be able to say you a lot of things during this month. You know that once when you have this particular temple festival, you can find that the type of your coldness will go away, and you can find that this when the Pongal festival comes, you can find that there will be a mist that's starting here like that. These are all something which are all said to be the predictions, but they are not based upon observation. They are all based upon the earlier observations that is being present in them. So among this prediction, you can find that it is interpolation and extrapolation. Okay, interpolation is predicting new data based on and within a trend or a pattern of previously observed data. When you have a previous experience about that, and when you're able to previous type of your the preformed idea that is being present in your mind, based on that, if you're able to come out, it is called as interpolation. Okay, and extrapolation is predicting new data outside and beyond the range of previously observed data, where you're trying to come out with your own idea and then coming out with a new prediction that is present in them, which is beyond the one which you have already come across. So what you have to do is that both these two skills of interpolation and extrapolation, it is needed for you. I'll give you an example. See, in the case of your the science as such, suppose if you want to find out the effect of a fertilizer in the case of your plant or something like that, they don't put it into a hectare. They don't put it into an acre or something like that. The scientists, what do? They do an experiment in the case of your laboratory by applying a small quantity of that into a small plot. And then what they do is that they try to find out the effect and extrapolate this. And then they try to manipulate this and then calculate this for an acre. And then they give the data to the farmer that this will happen. Okay. So whatever the type of your research that you do in science, you know that prediction based on interpolation and extrapolation becomes something which is very mandatory for you to do research and then to pursue science. So stating the outcome of a future of a pattern which is being called as a prediction. So predicting the height of a plant in 2 weeks and predicting the graph with the help of a graph on growth during the previous 4 weeks. So I think I can share an experience with you all. When I was in Hungary, you know that when I landed there and when I went there, I was there for nearly 3 months. And there, people used to say that within a week, you can find that this plant will sprout out, all these trees will sprout out. Okay. And within another week, you can find that there will be the buds which have been coming out in all these plants. And once within a month, you can find that they will all come out to be flowers. And before you leave with the 3rd month, you can find that all these flowers will be shedded down. See, so beautifully, they were able to predict, they were able to extrapolate, and then they were able to interpolate. They were able to come out with the data which was happening very perfectly. So I was surprisingly seeing that how these people are able to observe, and then how these people are able to say that how these type of your process in the case of your biological events are taking place according to these type of your predictions. Okay, this is a simple example. Likewise, being a science person, you know that you should always have such type of your predictions in your mind. And coming to the inferring, based upon all these type of your observations and then calculations and then interpretations and all these things, what you have to do is that you should try to infer what is the outcome, what exactly is said to be needed. It is the getting the information by using one more senses. Inferring is explaining or interpreting an observation. You know that this is the sixth sense, the sixth type of your sense knowledge that the human beings have, where we'll be able to infer and then we'll be able to come out with some sort of your conclusion. But the animals, you know that they cannot come out with such type of your the inference capacity to be seen in them. Saying that a person who has used a pencil made a lot of mistakes because the eraser was well worn. So eraser is said to be an indication where you can find that the pencil has been continuously used because the eraser has also been continuously used. So that based on the eraser, you can also predict and then infer that what might be the use of the pencil as such. So likewise in your day-to-day life, there are a lot of scientific facts that is present in them, which you can infer and then come out. So when you are able to make the inferences, interpret the events that is present around us, we have a better appreciation of the around the environment that is being present in that, and all the type of your process that is occurring in the case of your nature. Either it might be the metamorphosis, or it might be the volcanic eruptions, or it might be the rain, or it might be the storm, the thunder, the tsunami, or it might be the biological events that is occurring in the case of this environment. Everything can be put into the type of your inference that you're able to create because of the observance and various type of your capacities as a science person. So we have seen about the basic skills, maybe some of the few advanced skills that is needed for you to do science. And one of the basic and
Sir? Excuse me, sir. We are not able to hear your voice, sir.
இல்லடி என்னடி
Dear participants, there is a small technical issue at the resource person side. Kindly wait for a couple of minutes.
Okay, ma'am.
Sorry for the inconvenience. Sir will join in 2 minutes.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Dear children, after this session, there will be an interaction session and then a feedback session. So if you would like to give your feedback on this one day interaction program, any two students from the group can give your feedback. Kindly be ready for it. Thank you. I repeat, after this session, there will be a feedback session. Any two students from the participants can give your feedback. So please be ready for it. So by the mean Sorry, while we wait for our guest to join us back, we're going to play another video of scientific illustration on bee communication prepared by our students.
Dance. First, let us start with an introduction to the life cycle of honeybees. The life cycle of honeybees is of 4 stages. The egg stage, of laying about 2,000 to 3,000 eggs in a day. Queen bee lays both fertilized egg and unfertilized egg. The fertilized egg develops into the female bees or queen bees. The unfertilized egg hatches and the male bees are born, which are known as drone bees. Larval stage. The difference between the worker bee and the queen bee is made 3 days after the egg transforms into the larva. The royal jelly is fed by the workers to all the larvae. Later, the royal jelly is fed only to the female larva, which eventually becomes a queen bee. Finally, the worker bees covers the top of the cell with bee wax in order to protect and facilitate the transformation of larva into the pupa. Pupal stage. Here, all the bees has developed parts like wings, eyes, legs, small body hairs that physically appears close to an adult bee. At the adult stage, once the pupa is matured, the new adult bees chew its way out of the closed cell. The queen bee takes 16 days from the egg stage to form an adult stage. The worker bees takes 18 to 22 days for the complete development, and the drone bee takes 24 days to develop into an adult bee. Now, let's discuss about the anatomy and morphology of the honeybee. Let's start with digestive system. Digestive system starts from mouth and ends in anus. Esophagus dilates into honey sac, which opens into the child's stomach. The sac-like large intestine is the posterior continuation of the small intestine, and it is lined by a longitudinal rows of chitinous teeth. The opening between the small intestine and large intestine is guarded by the walls of 6 plates. The digestive glands are 3 pairs of salivary glands. The saliva from these glands mixes with pollen and nectar, and it is converted into honey for future uses. Another pair of coiled gland is present in the head of the worker bees, which produce a nitrogenous food called royal jelly. Next comes respiratory system. Honeybees have external respiratory openings called spiracles, of which 3 pairs on the thorax and 7 pairs on the abdomen. Bees breathe through a network of tracheates and air sacs. The respiratory system is enlarged, making rapid flight capable. The spiracles access the trachea. The trachea arms widen, forming air sacs which store air. Branching trachea and tracheoles supply oxygen.
Sorry, I think sir is back. Sir? Excuse me, sir. Sir, can you hear us, sir? Sir? Sir, can you hear us, sir?
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible now, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, madam, I'll just conclude. Hello. Okay, I was just sorry for the interruption and then due to certain technical problems. Okay, so coming to these advanced skills, you know that controlling the variables, you know that we use several type of your the electronic gadgets in our day-to-day life, and you need some basic sciences in order to do it. See, even when you're driving a car, you know that suppose if it is said to be having some sort of your basic issue, and then when it stops in the road, you should learn at least to learn that is to get it set right at a particular point of time with the basic type of your skills that you develop. Okay, for that which we need the controlling variables in order to operate a mixie, or in order to operate an washing machine, or in order to operate a TV. All these you need some sort of your basic science, which is very much needed. And in the case of your life, you also need another type of your thing, which we call it as the hypothesizing. The hypothesizing is to how exactly you'll be able to that is come out with the preformed idea, and then hypothesize the variables, and then find out how it is exactly working on. This is one of the best type of your quality that the science people should have. And interpretation, this we have seen already, that how, you know, giving the rational explanations about an object or an event or a pattern which you have derived from that of your observations that you have done, and then the data that you have collected, and if you're able to interpret, this is said to be the skill of interpretation is very much needed in the case of your the science career. Experimenting, this is very, very important. See, you know that in the case of your science as a career, you need to do a lot of experiments. You should do the planning, and then conducting the activities, and then how you're going to replicate from the bench to bedside, or from the laboratory lab to land. All such type of your the transformations that are taking place is only because of conducting the experiments, and then how you're able to transform these type of your outcomes of these experiments from one to that of your other as such. And then defining operationally all the variables that have been used in the case of your experiment, describing what exactly to be done and what to be observed, and how the type of your things that is being made. See, you know that one of the irony that is present in the case of your today's education system is that you might be taking up an engineering. We have seen the people who have done mechanical engineering. A person might be a PhD in the case of your automobile engineering, but that particular person, you know, even if he is driving a small bicycle, and if that bicycle is if the chain is said to be coming out of it, he will not be in a position even to replace the chain. He might be even a PhD in the case of your mechanical engineering, or he might be in an automobile engineering. And yeah, an electrical engineer, he will not be even able to repair an ordinary fuse that is present in the case of your house as such. So these are all some of the type of your the basic skills that is being correlated with that of your educational qualification, and how it is said to be present in the case of your operational form as such. And building models, you know that there are a lot of models that the school children normally build up, and then there are competitions that has been present where you can find that the students will be able to come out with their innovative ideas of how to build a model, and then creating the representations of a complex object or a process, and then how to map the computer programs, the mathematical operations, mathematical models, biological models, chemical models, okay, working models, machine models, and then prototypes. All these are said to be the one which the scientists should be very thorough in making all these things in order to make it to be workable in the case of your the large scale process as such. And you can find that thinking skills. See, even now your listening skills, is needed for you to listen to a patient, a person who is trying to explain that to be present for you. Listening skill is also needed. Thinking skill is also needed. And apart from all these things, you also need the patient skills. You might, you had a technical problem in between. You need to have a patience to wait and then to just come back to that, well, what exactly is needed. So you can find all these type of your critical and creative thinking, like the attributing, comparing, and all those things which you have seen. Okay, and like that of the like that with that of your creative thinking, like generalizing the ideas, relating, making inferences, predicting, hypothesizing, and then synthesizing, visualizing, all these will ultimately lead to a lot of reasoning ability, which will make you to conceptualize, making decisions, and then problem solving capacities that is being present, which are all the basic type of your the qualities that is needed for a science person. Not only for science, for everybody, but more with that of your science as such. So you can find that for everything, you need to have a scientific temper. Scientific awareness ultimately makes every individual to come out with the scientific temper, where you can find all the things which you have been discussing till now has been put together in order to make it as a scientific temper. So you know that now, especially we have to thank this COVID, the pandemic, because which has made even an ordinary illiterate and other people, an ordinary public, to understand what exactly is a virus, because they might not be even knowing what is a virus as such, whether it is a microorganism. And they're talking about the different type of your immunity that is present in the case of your human body, and what is the importance of vaccination. So all such type of your the basic scientific ideas have been made even to put into that of your ordinary public, because of such type of your pandemic that has come out of that, which has created a scientific temper and a scientific attitude in the case of your common public. Okay. So finally, coming to that of your nurturing aesthetic sense and curiosity. See, you should always be very, very curious, and you should have an aesthetic sense. Aesthetic science in the case of your science is very important, because it enables to appreciate the beauty of nature. What exactly is present, how the colors in the case of your butterflies, how the different type of your combinations that is present in the case of your colors in the case of your flowers, and what type of your green. Even in the case of your green, you can find different shades of the green that you can find in the case of your trees, the plants, and all those type of your the ornamental plants, as well as crop plants, and all such type of your things which you have to appreciate, and which needs an aesthetic sense. So aesthetic sense is concerned with the creation of something, as well as the ability to identify the harmony, the regularity, and the pattern that is being present. So we learned so many laws, so many theories that is present in the case of your science. So try to relate them with that of your nature. Try to relate them with the different type of your phenomena that is present in the case of your nature, so that you'll be able to appreciate what exactly is present by the God's creation in the case of your nature. So you know that we now learn a new subject which is called as nanotechnology. But what we feel is that it is not said to be a new technology. It is not a new subject. It is one of the oldest technology. Why? Because how the different combinations of the nanoparticles, which makes the wings of the butterfly to be so beautiful in color. That is a combination of different type of your nanoparticles that is present. So in nature, you know that the nature is the one which teaches us about the various type of your concepts that is present in the case of your biology, or in the case of your the environment, which needs the aesthetic sense. So it might be what we learned from Newton or Mendel or Darwin. Everyone had the aesthetic sense, and because of this only they were able to come out with different type of your inventions and different type of your discoveries that is being appreciated now, and which has been celebrated now, only because they had this type of your curiosity, aesthetic sense, and creativity, which makes people to flourish well, and then to do well in the case of your science as such. Okay, so I think I'm just concluding with this, and let me congratulate the whole team of the organizers who has made this as wonderful event. Especially, you know that talking to the children is always a big type of your a pleasure that you will have, because it is talking to the young mind and talking to the God, where you can find that they'll be able to take this. And I'm 100% sure that these type of your basic concepts will make you to flourish well, and then to grow well in the case of your science as a career. So wishing you all the best and have a wonderful career in the case of your science, and would like to see a transformation in you all as one of the best scientists in the case of your world as such. So thank you, and thank you for the organizers also for giving me this opportunity to interact with the young children. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful valedictory address. And
Yes,
thank you
madam.
for sparing your time with us today and joining us for this Monday interaction program.
Yes, madam. Thank you.
So, students, the session is open for a feedback session. Any two of you can unmute and give your feedback to us about this one-day interaction program.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, Gopika, would you like to say something?
Yes, ma'am. My graduate to you for all you have done, which I will never forget. I truly appreciate you and your time spending helping me in many occasions. Thank you very much for the course. I enjoyed every minute of your lecture. This is very informative session for all of us. Thank you for giving and spending your time with us all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Gopika. Anybody else? Stephen? Thank you, children.
Ma'am?
Yes, Stephen, would you like to say something?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, for me, this course is very informative course for me, ma'am.
I hope you learned a lot from us today.
About science, ma'am, I have learned a lot about science, ma'am. In this course, I have never expected this, ma'am. Thank you for spending your time with us, ma'am.
Thank you, Stephen. As Thiruvalluvar rightly said, Payantookkar செய்த உதவி நயன்தூக்கின் நன்மை கடலின் பெரிது. We are indebted to all the speakers of the day for their wonderful sessions. I now invite Dr. P.B. Harathi, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, PSG Krishnamal College for Women, to express few words of gratitude on behalf of PSG Krishnamal College for Women to one and all who have made this day possible.
Good evening to everyone. Is my voice audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Once again, good evening to everyone. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for this one-day interaction program, Science Adda. I wish to thank our management trustee, Sri G. Rangaswamy, and our chairperson, Dr. R. Nandini, for the support extended in all our endeavors. I thank our secretary, Dr. N. Yashoda Devi, for her deep vision and revolutionary changes in sharpening the educational agenda. I thank our principal, Dr. S. Nirmala, for her guidance and encouragement in all our activities. My sincere thanks to today's speakers, Dr. M. G. Seduraman from Gandhigram Rural Institute, Dr. N. Ponpandian from Bharatiyar University, Dr. K. Vaidehi from PSG College of Technology, Dr. Sharavana Kumar from Biotechnology Rasi Seeds R&D Center, Dr. Raghunath G. Ramabhadran from ISER Tirupati, and Dr. R. Rajendran from PSG College of Arts and Science for inspiring the students towards science through their lectures. We believe that it will create interest among the student community to take up science in higher education. I thank DBT Star College Scheme for selecting our college to organize this one-day interaction program to popularize science among the student community. I profusely thank Dr. Basanta, Dean Student Affairs, for her systematic planning, timely execution, and unfailing support. I thank the heads and faculty members of all the participating departments, basic sciences and applied sciences, for their unflinching support. I thank DBT STAR coordinators for their involvement and their willingness to take up on completion of tasks beyond their comfort zones. I thank the participants from various institutions for their participation, and my sincere thanks to the heads and authorities of various institutions for permitting them to take part in today's event. My sincere thanks to the non-teaching staff for the technical extended to hold this online virtual lecture. At the end, I would like to thank the students community for their enormous cooperation in the organization of this event. So in this, at this moment, most of the schools are working and students were not able to carry their devices. So schools made arrangement personally in their conference rooms and seminar rooms for the students to attend their lectures. So once again, I thank the teachers, the principals, and the authorities of the schools for making their students to attend this lecture during their working day. So thank you once again.
Thank you, ma'am. The YouTube links have been shared to your school teachers. Kindly share the links with your friends and others and students from other schools as well. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Children.
ma'am.
Ma'am, shall we leave